A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
And now, Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and what it means to be the wife of a famous star. It's not quite 9 o'clock of a quiet summer day. We find Julia Dixon and Rupert sitting in the library of Rupert's luxurious Long Island home. There's been little conversation between the two, but Julia seems nervous, ill at ease. Her eye keeps wandering toward the grandfather clock in the corner, and she seems to be listening for any unusual sound. Finally, the telephone rings out in the hall.
I'll answer it, Julia.
No, let me.
But I'm much closer.
Please let me answer it, Rupert. I feel sure it's for me.
Just as you please. Never saw you so anxious to pick up the phone.
Hello?
Hello, is that you, Julia?
Yes. Yes. Who's this?
Well, it's Mary Noble. I know it's a ghastly time to be calling you, but...
Oh, it's perfectly all right, Mary. Is it something about Oliver?
Not Oliver? Oh, you mean young Mr. Wilson. Why, no, that is not entirely.
But it's partly about him. But then you do know something, Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julia. I'm afraid we're talking at cross purposes. I called you because I thought it would be nice for all of us to attend Larry's play tonight. You know, Claudia Vincent will appear opposite Larry for the first time.
Oh, I see.
Well, since you and Rupert were so very nice to ask us all over there to that lovely garden party at Rupert's place, well, I thought I'd like to have us all go to New York tonight and see the play.
Well, I don't know, Mary. Just whom did you mean?
Why, you, of course, Julia and Rupert, and your guest, Mr. Oliver Wilson. I've invited Tom Bryson, you remember him, the famous playwright, and one of our very dearest friends. And then, of course, Maud Marlowe will go.
You say it's tonight, Mary?
Yes. I'm sorry to give you such little notice, but I didn't know for sure when Claudia would step into the leading woman's part.
Why, yes, I believe we can be there, Mary. In fact, I'm sure we can.
Oh, good. Well, don't you think it'll be a nice idea if we all drive into New York together? Of course, Maud and I could meet you at the theater, or perhaps earlier.
I'm quite sure Rupert will want to pick you up, Mary.
Oh, I didn't mean that, Julia. We could get a car to bring us to Rupert's home in Oyster Bay. It's quite simple.
Oh, not at all. I'm sure Rupert will insist on picking you up personally. Shall I have him call you later?
I wish you would. You see, I have to arrange about tickets, and it's rather difficult sometimes, as you know.
I'm sure you needn't worry as far as we're concerned. There's only one thing.
Yes?
No, I'm sure it'll be quite all right. Thank you for inviting us.
I'm so glad you'll be able to make it. I'll wait to hear from Rupert about the time.
Yes.
Good. Goodbye, Julia.
Goodbye.
Well, was it the call you were waiting for?
It was Mary Noble.
What? Mary called here? What does she want? Is something wrong?
Oh, don't upset yourself, Rupert. She called to invite us to the theater tonight. It seems that Claudia is to make her great Broadway debut in the play. Mary calls it Larry's play. I think of it as the play you backed. But I don't suppose it really matters.
What's this all about, Julia? Are you serious about this invitation?
Of course. She wants you and Oliver and me to go. The other members of the party will be Tom Bryson, the playwright, and Miss Marlowe.
Well, what did you tell her?
I accept it.
You had your nerve without so much as asking me. What makes you think I'm free tonight?
You're always free when Mary Noble asks you anywhere, Rupert.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm sure I don't know. I'll have to look it up in my book and see if I'm free.
Oh, don't bother, Rupert. I already know the answer.
I see. Very well, then. I didn't realize you had second sight. If you'll excuse me, I believe I'll go out in the garden.
Very well, Rupert.
What time do you expect your devoted Oliver to return?
I don't know.
Not such a very good start for a world-shaking romance, is it, Julia? Staying out all night.
Would you mind not saying any more? Just leave me alone.
Very well, Julia.
And later that same morning, Larry drives the family car into the lane of their Rosehaven, Long Island home. He left the house some time ago saying he wanted to have the car looked at. And now as he stops in front of his garage, he walks toward the house.
Thank heavens there's nobody about.
All I need right now is to answer a lot of questions. Oh, now, who locked that door, I'd like to know. What is this, anyhow, a Bastille that you can't get in or out of? Everything's conspiring to get my goat. I'd like to...
Larry?
Oh, hello, honey. The house was locked up tight.
I know. I locked it myself. I guess I was nervous. Come in, darling.
Sure. Must have lost my key. At least I don't have it now.
Larry, are you all alone?
Yes, certainly. You don't think anyone's hidden out in the shrubbery, do you?
But where's Claudia? The door to her room was open this morning, and she wasn't there.
Claudia? Oh, she decided not to drive way out here last night.
Oh, you mean she's staying in New York?
Yes. Saves a lot of time and energy. She's pretty well tired out, you know. Claudia's not used to the beating you take rehearsing for a play.
I see. Well, I guess that's the best thing, then, as long as it's what she wants.
How do I know whether it's what she wants or not? I guess she got fed up with feeling uncomfortable around here and decided she'd better stay in town.
Larry Noble, that's not fair. I think I've behaved very well to Claudia Vincent when you consider everything.
All right. Let's not discuss it. I'm tired.
I'm sorry, darling. I know you must be tired. I hardly slept a wink last night. Why not have something to eat and take a nap?
No, I don't want anything, thanks.
A glass of milk?
Well, all right. Might be a good idea at that.
Of course it is. I'll get it. Well, you just sit down, Larry. I'll get milk out of the refrigerator.
I'll get glasses.
Oh, I had some lovely new cookies that Phoebe baked yesterday. Like them?
Sure, fine. Wait, I'll pour out this milk.
Oh, there you are, Larry. Now sit down. I'll sit over here.
Yeah.
Tastes good?
Fine. Gee, Mary, it seems to me we just left this kitchen a few minutes ago.
I know. Isn't it nice? Larry.
Yeah, what, hon?
You didn't really mean that, did you?
Mean what?
About Claudia and how I've made her feel uncomfortable.
Oh, let's skip it. Don't you think so?
No, I want to talk about it. Because I want you to know that I've done my best to accept Claudia here in this house.
All right.
Well, I haven't been any too cordial.
Well, that's putting it mildly.
But she hasn't been very helpful either. Don't forget that.
I asked you just to skip it. There's nothing to be gained by hashing it over.
I wonder.
Drink your milk.
Larry, I want you to know that I've invited a few people for tonight.
Oh? Well, good idea. Having them over for dinner?
No, I don't mean here. I'm talking about New York. I'm inviting some people to the play for Claudia's opening night.
What? Oh, now, what made you do a thing like that? She's nervous enough as it is.
Well, I thought it was a friendly gesture to show her how interested we all are to give her support.
Who's coming?
Well, Maud, of course, and Tom Bryson.
Tom Bryson? When did you talk to him?
We came by here on his way back from Southampton, and we went swimming.
Oh. Who else?
For tomorrow night? Well, I called Julia Dixon and asked her and her guest, Oliver Wilson.
That all?
No, I asked Rupert Barlow, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, why not? He invited us to his house for a lovely party, didn't he? Showed that he didn't bear any grudge toward Claudia. I thought it only right to return the favor and take them all to the play tonight. Surely you can arrange with Harold Ramsey for house seats, at least a few, and I'll manage the others.
I cannot imagine what made you do such a thing.
I told you. I want to show Claudia that we all hope she'll be a big success.
Well, that sounds very lofty, doesn't it? But my own personal opinion is that you're using this as another excuse to be with Rupert Barlow.
That's a perfectly hateful thing to say, and it's not true. I did this because I thought you'd be pleased. Because it would give all the gossips on Broadway the idea that we're all for Claudia, that we're solidly back of her. Didn't expect you to twist my motives about.
All right. I take it all back. I'm sorry.
And as far as Rupert Barlow is concerned, I don't need any excuses to see him, Larry.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Maybe you can figure it out, if you're interested.
Then Mary leaves the kitchen and goes to the pantry, leaving Larry uneasy and wondering about many things, and worried about Claudia's opening in the play tonight. But be sure to be listening tomorrow to Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, To the Future, by Ray Bradbury. Time is an interesting phenomenon. A ticking clock, the running sands of an hourglass. All these have captured the imagination of men. But time is more. It exists now, and then, and in the future. Suppose we are in the year 1955. Coexistent in time may be worlds we have never seen. The worlds of the past and of the future. The year 1955. It was a spring night in Mexico, fiesta time. The fireworks shot up into the clear, dark sky, and the papier-mâché bull ran about the plaza chasing boys and laughing men. Mr. and Mrs. William Travis stood on the edge of the yelling crowd, smiling.
Bill, what is it? What did they say?
They're cheering for the bull. Here he comes. He's good, isn't he? Look how they rigged that fire breathing.
Bill is wonderful. I've never enjoyed myself so much in my life.
It's terrific. They caught the bull. Bravo, Toro!
Bill, it will go on, won't it? I mean, our trip.
Sue, don't worry. I've got enough traveler's check for a lifetime. Relax.
No, but suppose they find us.
Forget it. They haven't a chance.
But suppose they do. Suppose they take us back.
They'll never find us. Oh, relax. Enjoy yourself.
If it only lasts.
Come on. Let's get out of the crowd. You need a drink.
Let's try something different this time. I want to try every drink there is in the world.
Don't worry. There's no rush. We've got plenty of time now. In here. There's a table over there. Come on.
Bill,
What's the matter?
don't look right away.
Huh?
Over your left shoulder, right by the end of the bar. That man.
What is it?
I saw him this morning in the plaza.
Take it easy. The town's full of tourists.
He was at Juarez and at Tasco. Bill, I'm afraid.
Don't stare at him. Come on.
I know it's the same man. He was wearing the same white suit.
Sit down, Sue. Come on, dear. Smile. Act natural.
Bill, he's been following us. He's a searcher. I know he is.
Quiet. Here, boy.
Si, senor.
Benedictine brandy, too.
Si, senor.
He's been watching us, Bill.
Pull yourself together,
They
Susan.
can't take us back.
Will you quit worrying? The chances are 1 in 1,000 that they found us. It's probably just a coincidence.
I want to lie down. I think I'm going to be sick.
Susan, hang on, will you? If he is looking for us, we can't run out. It'd attract
He
attention.
must have slipped up when we checked out in New York.
What's he doing now?
Stopped our waiter. He's asking him something.
Well, may just want a drink.
Bill, I can't stand it. I've got to go upstairs and lie down.
All right. As soon as we finish our drinks. What's he doing now?
He's nodding at me. As if he knows me. He's smiling. Bill, he's coming over here.
Officer, we've got to go right on in front of him, so if he is what we think he is, he won't suspect.
I can't.
We've got to. Come on. So I said to David, that's absolutely ridiculous. What do you...
Mr. Kristen, you did not pull up your pants leg when you sat down.
What? I'm afraid you've got the wrong person. My name isn't Chrysler.
Kristen.
Oh. I'm William Travis. I don't see what my pants leg has to do with it.
Oh, mind if I sit down? See, everyone nowadays pulls up his pants leg when he sits down. Like this. See, it keeps the trouser from bagging at the knees. But, of course, if you're not used to this style of clothing...
Now, see here, we don't know you.
You don't? I'm sorry. I thought I knew you.
This is our table, if you don't mind.
You see, I'm looking for 2 friends of mine. A man and his wife. Very much like you. The man is an atomic scientist. The wife, a bacteriologist. Very important people. They work on government business.
What are you talking about?
And when I find my friends, I'm going to take them home with me.
Look here, Mr.
Sims. That will do for now.
Look, I understand you thought you knew us, but you see you're mistaken. If you'll excuse us, my wife and I were just going up to our room. We have to make an early start in the morning.
Oh, going for a trip? Acapulco, perhaps? Oh, a lovely spot.
Never mind where we're going.
Yes, of course. You don't like crowds, tourists. Probably like to get off the beaten path. You know, I have a vacation folder here that might interest you.
Please, Bill, let's go.
It's put out by an outfit that calls itself Travel in Time, Incorporated.
Travel in time?
Yes. They've come up with a rather intriguing idea. Here. Travel in Time, Incorporated can costume you, put you in the crowd at any place and time in history. We guarantee to teach you any language you need to move freely in any year without risk of detection. This summer, why not escape from the worries of our modern world? Take your vacation in time.
That's impossible, of course.
But think what it would mean. A chance to escape all the tensions of an unpleasant life. War, insecurity, fear. Suppose you were a scientist working on a dangerous bomb project. Or you, Mrs. Travis. Suppose you were a bacteriologist working on disease cultures, and you had a chance to escape all that, to take a vacation 200 years in the past. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it, to escape to a more peaceful world? A trip back to 1955?
1955? But you said a vacation in the past.
So I did. But you see, 1955 is the past. If you come from the year 2155.
2155?
Yes. Terrible times, most unpleasant. A war raging, an atomic, bacteriological war. Terrible times, with none of the little comforts we enjoy today. Like this fine Havana cigar.
Well, I want to go upstairs. I want to lie down.
If you were living then, think of how wonderful it would be to take a vacation in time. Back to now. Suppose a young couple like yourselves took a trip to 1955 and didn't want to come back. Do you know what would happen? The government sends a searcher back to look for them.
This is all fantastic.
The searcher finds them and brings them back. Back to that miserable, insane, stark, pleasureless world of 2155. A pity, isn't it?
Look here, Sims.
Well, do you think I shall find my two friends, Mr. Travis?
Bill, please take me upstairs. I don't feel well.
Oh, is the lady feeling a bit ill? How unfortunate.
Here are the drinks, senor.
Well, shall we drink a toast? To 2155. To the future.
Inside, quick.
What are you doing?
Shoving a chair under the doorknob.
He knows. He's been following us. He's a searcher.
Look, keep quiet, Sue. I want to
They're
think.
going to take us back.
It isn't over yet. I've got a headache.
I'll get you an aspirin. What will they do to us?
I don't know. Something slipped. Something must have slipped.
But we were so careful.
The searchers are trained to watch for detail. Things like not pulling up my trousers. Started them thinking, there's a man who isn't used to ancient clothes. I could kill myself for giving it away.
No, it was my walk. These high heels. Here.
Thanks. The nerve of that Sim sitting there looking us up and down like animals, smoking those stinking cigarettes.
No, that's how I first noticed him at Tasco. He had 4 bottles of liqueurs and a pile of chocolate.
Yes, he still hasn't gotten over that first greedy hunger. We've got to look out for that. It's the sure sign of somebody from the future. Trying to make up for a lifetime of shortages by stuffing yourself sick. Remember our first night?
Bill, I can't stand it. We've got to get out of here.
What are you doing?
Packing. Put the suitcases up.
It's no use.
What do you mean? We can get to Acapulco by morning.
Don't you think he's watching?
We could get away.
No. We've got to sit tight. Maybe he isn't sure of us yet. Maybe we can still figure out some way to escape. Come on now. We'll need our strength. We'd better try to get some sleep.
go back. Security blew it. The bomb. The bomb. It's falling and killing.
Sue, what's the matter?
No,
Sue.
no.
Sue, wake up, Sue.
Bill, where are we?
It's all right. Calm down, honey. We're still in 1955. It's all right.
Oh.
You must have had a nightmare.
Oh, Bill, it was awful. We were back there, 2155. Oh, Bill, we won't go back there, will we ever?
Go back
Tell
to sleep, honey. It's all right. We're in Mexico, 1955, and we're going to stay here. Sue, I've been lying awake here thinking. He's still testing us. He's not absolutely certain. He's got all the time in the world. He can stay here as long as he likes. And then bring us back to the future 60 seconds after we left it.
They can't make a scene, can they? They don't dare come out in the open.
No. It might change the future. They're afraid of that.
Bill, if we could only tell somebody, ask for
You
help.
know we can't. That's why we had to submit to the psychological block treatment before they okayed our vacation. We couldn't tell if we tried. The block's too strong.
Maybe we can break it, Bill.
What's the use, darling? Who'd believe a crazy story like ours? Who'd believe we come from 2155? No, we can't tell. And they'll have to get us alone to put us in the time machine to send us back.
Then that's it, Bill. We'll never be alone. It's still siesta tomorrow. It'll be easy to stay in the crowd.
Yes, that's the only chance. We can't let him get us alone. He won't get us back to that war and that insane world.
Bill.
Oh. Could be the room clerk.
At 3 in the morning?
I'd better answer.
Don't, Bill, don't.
I've got to. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Travis?
What's the idea? It's 3 in the morning.
Yes. I just wanted to remind you, the rabbits may hide in the forest, but a fox can always find them.
What was it, Bill? Bill.
Never mind. Come on. Let's get some sleep. While we can.
Buenos dias, señor y señora.
Good morning, Senor Gomez.
I trust you are spending pleasant days in my hotel. Fiesta time is the best.
Yes, it's been lovely.
Your special table is all ready for breakfast.
Hey, where in blazes the hotel? You, Buster, where's the hotel in this godforsaken sinkhole of a one-horse town? All the blighted deserts of the whole stinking country. I had
all that racket?
Oh, great excitement. Very great.
What is it?
They come with 4 trucks and innumerable automobiles. A motion picture company from Hollywood.
Oh, what are they doing down here?
They make the pictures of our fiesta for the background. That fat man, the one with the most colorful shirt, he is the chief.
Manager!
Director.
Manager! Where's the manager of this Adobe playback?
Coming, senor. You will excuse me, senor. I hope the table is satisfactory. Coming, senor.
This is a break, Sue. That movie company will draw crowds, and that helps us.
When can we leave, Bill?
Oh, not today. He'd be...
Okay, kids, end of the line. Ciao. Get it up, Maxwell, and lay off the pepper. I got to know, sir.
Bill, there's Sims across the dining room.
I can't do anything now, not with these actors coming in.
Gloria, you sit next to Papa.
Hello.
Max, make sure nobody monkeys with the trucks and the gear.
Right, Chief.
Do we have to eat at this crummy joint, Joe?
Cheer up, sweetie. Your mere presence makes this chasins and truck roll into one.
No, not this early in the morning, Joe. I couldn't stand it.
Okay. Anything you want, laddies. It's on the dear old expense account.
They look happy, don't they?
There's an idea. Maybe I could hire 2 of them. I could say it was a joke.
Why?
We could dress them in our clothes, have them drive off in our car sometime when Sims couldn't see their faces.
Where would that get us?
With him off on their trail, we might make it to Mexico City. It'd take years to find us there.
Wait, that movie man's coming over.
Excuse me, you folks are Americans, aren't you?
That's right.
Boy, am I glad to see you. I'm so sick of hearing Spanish, I could kiss you. Hey, come on over and eat with us, huh?
Well, I don't think we should intrude.
Oh, come on. Misery loves company. I'm Misery, and that's the company. We're from Hollywood.
So I understand.
Yeah. Boy, would I like to be there. I'm Joe Melton.
I'm the director.
I'm William Travis. This is my wife, Susan.
Mutual. Come on over, kids. Join the party. Cheer us up. Only no tamales. I burned out 3 kidneys on tamales since I came over the border. Boy, am I funny, huh?
Wonderful.
Well, come on over. Hey, kiddies. I got new blood. Brother Yanks.
Just a moment, Mr. Travis. I thought you might be breakfasting with me, alone. Sorry.
I got him first, Mac. You want to join us?
No, I've already ordered. Mr. Travis, I think you'd better talk with me.
Say,
now.
Is this guy giving you trouble?
It's all right.
Then I'll say the word and I'll have Max pitch him out in his ear.
No, it's all right. We'll be right over, Mr. Melton.
Bill.
We'll talk to Mr. Sims. Mr. Melton, you sort of keep an eye on us, huh? After all, you found us first.
Yeah, sure. Well, come on over soon, kids.
Sit down, Mr. Travis. I hope you slept well. Did you? Well, I'm not used to spring mattresses, but there are compensations. I stayed up half the night trying new cigarettes and foods. A whole new spectrum of sensation, these ancient vices. We miss something in our world, don't we? And when we get back here, we try to cram it all in a few short days.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Still acting, eh? But it's no use. You can't stay in crowds all the time. I'll get you alone soon enough. I'm immensely patient. However, let's come to the point. You know we can't let you get away with this escape. Other people in the year 2155 might get the same idea and do the same thing. And we need people.
To fight your wars?
Bill.
It's all right, Susan. We can talk on his terms now. He's got us. We can't escape. Oh, at last. Really, you've been incredibly romantic, running away from your responsibilities.
Running away from horror.
Oh, nonsense. Only a war. Only? With half the world dead and the other half dying? Yes, but we can't have you escaping here while we drop off a cliff. Dying people love to know that others died with them.
Hey, kids, break it up. We're waiting on you.
The longer you keep me waiting, the harder it will go on you.
What do you mean?
We need you on that bomb project. Return now, and no torture.
Torture?
Yes. You see, later we'll force you to work, and after you finish the bomb, we'll try a number of complicated new devices on you.
Yeah.
As you say, you can't escape. We have all the time in the world. Here.
Sims, I'll make a deal with you. I'll come back now. If my wife stays here, alive, safe, away from that war.
No, Bill,
Keep
no.
quiet, Sue. Well, Sims, you need me for that bomb. You can duplicate her work.
It exceeds my authority, but, all right. Meet me in the plaza in 10 minutes.
All right. I'll pick you up in the car.
Good. We'll drive out into the country to some deserted spot, and I'll have the time travel machine pick us up.
Bill, I won't let you.
Don't argue, dear. It's settled. Sims, there's one thing.
Yes?
Last night, instead of calling, you could have broken into our room and got us. Why didn't you?
Shall we say that I was enjoying myself? Take this new fine cigar, for example. Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you know that I have 12 boxes up in my room? And liqueurs, crème de menthe, Benedictine, crème de coca, and so many others. And the wine. Oh, I've got the closets full of them. And I shall so hate to leave it all. Well, I'll meet you in the plaza in 10 minutes. Your wife may stay here as long as she wishes.
All right, Sims, it's a deal.
Don't try anything now, Travis.
I know when I'm beat. We just want a few minutes to say goodbye.
I shall be seeing you then.
Bill, I won't let you do it. I won't let you.
Please,
I'm going to
Susan.
tell the truth. I'm going to get help.
You can't. The psychological
We've
block
got to
is-
try. It's our last chance.
Hey, aren't you two going to join us? I
Mr.
thought...
Melton, I've got something to tell you, and you've got to believe me.
It works,
I've
Sue.
got to try.
Now, go ahead, kids. Fill in.
You've got to understand. You see, we really... Bill. Bill, my head.
Huh?
I can't think. My head.
Say, you need a bromo, honey.
That works, Sue. The block's too strong. We better get the car.
Bill. Bill, please.
Someone's crying.
Somebody, please.
Breakfast, no time for people to cry. Now, what in the world could a good-looking kid like you find to cry about?
won't let you do it.
Don't make it hard, Sue.
Let me go back with you. We'll get through some way.
You think I'd let you go back to that war? Sue, please stop. We haven't got much
It
time.
was so wonderful here, Bill. Bill, please.
There he is, smoking those Turkish cigarettes, waiting for
There
it.
must be some way we can both stay here.
Maybe there is.
Bill, what are you going to do?
Hang on, Sue, and duck when I tell
No,
you.
Bill, you're heading right for him.
He's not going to get either of us now. Down, Sue, down.
Bill.
It's all right, darling. It's all right.
Oh.
It's all over. Darling, this is the mayor.
Senor, your husband has been officially cleared in this most unfortunate affair. It is obvious this senior seems died of an unavoidable accident.
An accident? Oh, yes, of course.
Adios, senor, senora.
Will they want to see you again?
No. No, I'm clear.
Oh.
I lost control of the car. That's the way it stands. Sue, I hated to kill him. I've never wanted to do anything like that in my life.
Where shall we go now? Mexico City?
The car's in the repair shop. Won't be ready till 4. And we'll get out.
Hey there, Travis. Wait up.
Oh, it's that movie man, Bill. He was very good to me when they had you in there.
Hey, I heard what happened. They sprung you, huh? Great.
Yes, it was an accident.
Well, lucky you didn't get hurt yourselves. Everything okay now?
Yes, I think so.
Ah, it's fine. But you both look a little rocky. Say, you want to get your mind off your troubles. We're through for the day. Cloud's fouled up our shooting schedule. We're going to put a header on it up at the hotel. Gloria's cracking the ice now.
Well, maybe we will join you. But first I've got to check up on the car.
Well, don't miss the party, kiddies. See you upstairs.
Bill, I don't think
Relax, honey. We've got the break now. Sims is dead. Before they can put another searcher on our trail, we'll have time to make a clean getaway.
How about the car?
We'll be ready till 4. We've got a couple of hours to kill.
I'm so tired.
What you need is a little excitement. We rate a celebration, honey.
Well, I guess it would be nice to unwind.
Sure. We'll go up to Melton's room, have a couple of drinks, a few laughs. Don't worry, honey. It's all over. We can relax.
Well, Kitty.
Well, we thought we'd join you, Miss Melton.
Great. Call me Joe. Gloria, yak another quart, bring her company.
We're having you. Here you are, kid.
You kids ready to drink? Yeah, that was a pretty messy business, but it's all over now, huh?
Yes, it's all over.
Time to unlax. Grab a glass, honey.
Thank you.
Hey, quiet, everybody. Quiet. How about a toast to our guests?
Well,
How about it, huh? Okay. All right. To a very beautiful lady. Lovely enough for the movies.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not kidding. That's why I came over to you in the first place. I might even give you a test. Oh, I mean it, honey. You're pretty nice. I could make you a movie star.
And take me to Hollywood?
At least it'd get us out of Mexico.
You're not serious.
Well, sure I am. Gloria, how about a refill?
yeah, coming up.
That sounds wonderful, doesn't it, Bill?
Los Angeles is a pretty crowded city, isn't
Crowded. Hey, wait till you see the sunset buzz.
Well, you don't really think I could be an actress, do you?
Hmm.
You don't have to cheer me up anymore. I'm feeling wonderful
No,
now.
I'm serious.
it? Really? Well, what kind of a film do you think my wife would be good for?
Well, I want to do a suspense story. Sort of a war story, you know. Gloria, pour Mr. Travis another glass. A story about a man and a wife. You live in a little house. I'm just ad-libbing this, you understand?
Sure. Go on.
There's a war on, see? A terrible war, you see. And they live in the year, 2155.
Bill.
Now, here's the gimmick. They escape into the past, and they kill a man who follows them to bring them back. Gloria, honeypot, get Mr. Travis another glass. He dropped his. Well, sir, this couple takes refuge with a group of movie people. Safety in numbers, they figure.
Bill.
But the story goes on. This couple is terribly important for a new bomb. Let's call it the leprosy bomb. So the searchers figure out a way that they can get them alone in a hotel room. Shove a chair into the door now, Max.
Yes, sir.
You see, the searchers may work alone, Or in groups of 8, so that if one of them's killed, the rest carry on. Don't you think that'd make a wonderful picture, huh, Susan? Don't you, Bill?
You're not going to get us, Milton. Stand still.
Look out!
Put that gun down, Travis.
Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis.
Who is it?
The manager. Your car is all ready. Shall I...
Grab him!
Let go of me. Let's go.
Let's not make things worse, Mr. Travis.
What were those shots? Let me in.
The manager, he heard the shots. Let's get going.
Let go of me.
Let me in there. Let me in.
He'll break down the door in a minute. Max, get ready to travel.
Yes, I can.
Take a good look, Mr. Travis. Take a good look at 1955. You won't be seeing it anymore.
No!
Throw the...
No!
All right. Break it down.
Who shot that? Where are they?
I was at the door. I heard them inside.
They're gone. The windows. No, the iron bars are undisturbed. What happened to them? They just disappeared, all of them.
Senor, I think you had better send for the police and the holy water.
Later. They just disappeared.
Look in the closet. Bottles. Hundreds of bottles. And boxes of 20 peso pure Havana Viva cigars. These crazy Americanos. Why would anyone leave all this behind?
Juan, never question providence. Bien. There is enough here to last us both for a month. I think we can look forward to a most happy future.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you To the Future by Ray Bradbury. It was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Terry Keane, Alexander Scourby, Mercer McLeod, Joe DeSantis, Guy Sorrell, Alan Collins, and Stan Early. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week on X-1, Ray Bradbury's story, Marionettes Incorporated. It's groomed for your interests. Weekday, NBC Radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight, a Ray Bradbury story, Marionettes Incorporated. By the year 1990, we should see many amazing technological advances. And yet, in many ways, life will be very much the same. A husband will stop off at a bar on his way home and perhaps unburden himself a little to a friendly bartender.
Well, that's good. Almost feel as if I could go home and face Nettie now.
Life trouble, Mr. Smith?
Wife trouble, Sam. If only she'd relax a little bit. Look, you see this bruise on my lip? She kisses me. For an hour every night when I come home.
Can you do anything for it?
Well, I try, Sam. You can't figure them out. Well, I guess I'll go home and feed myself to the lioness. I tell you, Sam, when Eddie gets finished demonstrating how much he's missed me, I feel like a man who's been stuffed into an electronic washing machine with the dial set at rinse dry. How much do I owe you?
Well, if it isn't Henry Smith.
Huh? Brayling! Well, as I live and breathe. Walter Bray. What are you doing here?
Having the night out.
Say, does Gloria know about this?
Things have changed, Henry.
I thought she kept you chained to the bedpost most of the time.
Not anymore, Henry, not anymore.
Say, you aren't divorced, are you?
Oh, no. Gloria's home.
What did you do, put sleeping powder in her coffee?
Oh, goodness, no. That would be highly unethical.
Well, now, look, I can't believe you just walked out on her.
10 years of marriage, Henry, and I never had a night to myself. But it will be different from now on. By the way, what time is it?
10 o'clock.
I guess I'd better be going.
Scared?
Don't want to crowd my luck.
Oh.
Although, really, there's nothing to worry about.
Well, I'd sure like to know how you do it, Walter.
Would you really?
Yes, I would.
All right, Henry. Since you've always been a friend of mine, I'll let you in on it. Come on, my car's outside. I'll drive you home and let you see how it's done.
Well, now, that's nice of you, Walter.
Oh, no, not at all. We fellas have to stick together. I don't suppose you know how Gloria and I came to be married in the first place.
No, I don't.
Well, one evening, she threatened to tear off her clothing and call the police unless I married her.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Gloria's a nervous girl.
Oh. I bet you've had a pretty wretched time of it, huh?
Yeah. Didn't take long for me to become the laughing stock of the neighborhood. Henpeck Brayling, they used to call me. I know that. But things are changing now. See this?
What's this?
A single ticket to Rio on the morning rocket. I have hotel reservations there for a month. A whole month, Henry, to have a fling.
Well, won't Gloria make trouble over there?
Well, that's the amazing part of it, Henry. She won't even know that I'm gone.
Huh?
And I'll be back in a month and no one the wiser. You don't believe it, do you?
Well, frankly, no. Just how are you going to swing it, Walter?
That's the secret, Henry. I tell you, it is the most wonderful thing ever invented. Worth every cent I paid for it.
Well, what is it?
I'm going to show you. Now, here's my house. You notice the lights are all out?
Uh-huh.
Now, we'll wait here on the front porch.
Say, Walter, you haven't gone off your rocker, have you?
Shh. Let me see. I meow twice. That's it. Meow. Meow. Now watch the window in my bedroom.
Yeah, it looks as if somebody's... Hey! There's a man up there. He's looking out.
Good. He sees me. Now he'll be down directly.
Oh, now look, isn't this a bit embarrassing for you, Walter?
No, not at all. You'll find out. Here he comes. Hello, B2.
Good evening, Mr. Brayling. Either I'm going out of my mind or there are two of you. You never told me you had a twin brother.
I don't.
Well, if this fellow were in the pajamas, I couldn't tell you apart.
Well, that's the secret, Henry. Everything go all right, B2?
Just fine, Mr. Brayling.
I suppose my wife was in her usual good form this evening?
Well, as a matter of fact, we spent the evening playing gin.
No screaming, shouting, accusations?
No, sir. No, it was a very quiet evening.
Well, but this is even better than I thought.
Marionettes Incorporated aims to satisfy, sir.
Did he say Marionettes Incorporated?
That's right, Henry. Then now look him over. Isn't he excellently fashioned? You wouldn't dream he was a robot, a marionette.
No, I don't believe it.
Well, it's against the law, of course, to duplicate a human like this, but it's well worth the opportunity.
I still don't believe it. You can't tell him from a human.
Well, only one way. Put your ear next to his chest.
Huh?
That's it. Now listen.
It's machinery. Walter, old man, how long has this been going on?
Well, I've had him a month. I keep him in the cellar in my toolbox. And tonight I told Gloria that I'd like to be excused for 5 minutes to run down to the cigar store.
Uh-huh.
She agreed. I went down the cellar, took out Brayling, too, and sent him back upstairs to sit with my wife till I got home.
That's miraculous. Of course, Walter, it doesn't seem quite ethical somehow.
Oh, nonsense. Highly ethical.
Hmm?
I've been home all evening. I shall be home with her for the next month. In the meantime, another gentleman named Walter Brayling will be in Rio having the time of his life.
Well, can he walk around without fuel for a month?
He refuels himself.
Oh.
He's built to do everything. Eat, drink, sleep. You'll take good care of my wife, won't you, B2?
Well, your wife is rather nice. I've grown quite fond of her.
There, you see?
Yeah, Walter, old man, how long has this Marionettes Incorporated outfit been in business?
Secretly for 2 years now. Why?
Well, I wonder, you suppose there's a possibility that I might get in touch with him?
You?
Hmm.
But your Nettie is madly in love with you.
Well, I know that, but even so, just a little respite, a night or two once a month, huh?
But she loves you dearly.
So much she can't bear me to leave her for half an hour. You know that lately she's taken to calling me up at work 10 or 12 times a day, talking baby talk.
Your Nettie?
My Nettie. So now what do you say, old man, huh? As a favor to an old buddy, huh? A fellow lodge member?
Well, I could put you in touch with the man who makes them. Of course, you'd be pledged to secrecy once you learned where he's located.
Oh, naturally.
Very well, then. Here's his card.
Marionettes Incorporated. W. Zeig, proprietor and owner. New humanoid plastic 1990 models guaranteed against wear. Our motto, no strings attached. Address, the Jumper Shop, 43 South Wesley Drive.
Mr. Zeig will take care of you. He's a charming fellow. Real craftsman.
Say, that's wonderful, Walt. I'll see him first thing tomorrow. Well, I better be getting home now. Nettie is probably splitting a gasket.
Well, see you around, old man, after I get back from Rio. While I'm gone, you might drop around regularly, just as you always have. Treat Brayling, too, here, as if he were me. Otherwise, Gloria might be suspicious.
Yes, fine, I'll do that. Oh, before I go, these marionettes, they're safe, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Tell him, B2.
Oh, we're guaranteed.
Well, that's fine. Well, good night, Walter. Good night, B2.
Good night, Mr. Smith.
Good night, Henry. Well, I'm glad someone else will have a chance at a little happiness and freedom. All right, Brayling, too. It's back into the cellar box for you. Come on, down the steps. That's it.
It's very damp down here, Mr. Brayling.
Bad plumbing. Here we are.
Brayling.
Yeah?
Before you put me back into the toolbox, could we have a word?
Certainly, old man.
Now, this toolbox.
Yes, what about it?
Well, I don't like it, Mr. Brayling.
Why not?
Well, it's cramped.
Oh. Well, I'll try to fix up something more comfortable when I get back from Rio. All right, now, before Gloria gets worried, back into the...
Marionettes are made to move, not keep still. Now, how would you like to lie in a stuffy old box most of the time?
Well, I didn't realize you fellas were that sensitive.
Well, you wouldn't like it at all. I keep running. There's no way to shut me off. Now, I have my feelings, you know.
Well, a day after tomorrow, I'll be off to Rio, and you won't have to stay in the box for a whole month. You can move upstairs.
But when you come back from Rio, I'll go back into the box.
Mr. Zeig didn't tell me at Marionettes Incorporated that it was possible to get a difficult specimen.
Oh, well, there's a lot he doesn't know about us.
Look here, B2. This has gone far enough.
I'll never get to Rio.
Come on now, into the box.
And another thing.
Well?
Your wife.
Yes, what about my wife?
I've grown quite fond of her.
I'm glad that you enjoy your employment. You'll have the whole month.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand, Brayling. I've fallen in love with her.
Yes, well, all right. You what?
Well, you see it. Well, you just don't appreciate it. Maybe if you hadn't acted so meek and apologetic about everything, well, she'd have a little more respect for you as a man.
You aren't supposed to behave like this, you know.
I think I could be very happy if I were married to Gloria.
Aren't you forgetting that you are nothing but a big, overgrown puppet?
Now, careful, Brayling. I'm sensitive.
I'm sorry. Look, you wouldn't mind waiting here a moment, would you? I have to go upstairs and make a phone call.
To whom?
Nobody important. I have to call Henry Smith about something.
You're lying. Now, you're going to call Marionettes Incorporated and tell Mr. Zeig to come and get me.
No, really, I'm not. I was. B2, stay away.
Now, stand where you are, Brayling.
B2, take your hand off my
arm.
arm.
No, Brayling. What are you going to do? Nothing much. I'm just going to put you in the toolbox, lock it, and lose the key. Then I'll buy another ticket to Rio, and Gloria and I can have a wonderful vacation.
You're insane.
Oh, am I?
Now, wait a minute. Hold on, B2. Don't be rash. Now, let's talk this over.
Goodbye, Brayling.
Now, B2, stop it. Don't. Let's go.
Into the box, Brayling. There. Let me out.
Walter!
Yes, Gloria?
Well, what in the world are you doing down there at this time of night?
Well, nothing, lover. The pipes were knocking, and I'm just making sure the boiler hasn't exploded. Now, you go to bed, and I'll be up soon.
Hurry, won't you? We had such a nice evening. I'm lonesome for you.
You won't ever be lonesome again, darling. Never again.
Good morning, Nettie.
Good morning, darling. How are you? Have a nice time last night? I missed you so.
Mm-hmm. Is breakfast ready?
Well, aren't you going to kiss me good morning?
Huh? Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Mm. You're so wonderful, Henry. I guess I'm the luckiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's your coffee. How would you like your eggs?
Oh, any way at all.
But I want to please you.
Look, skip the eggs this morning.
But you have to eat to keep well, darling.
I'm very healthy. I have an early business appointment this morning.
Oh?
Yes, it's a friend of Walter Brayling's. I met Walter last night.
Oh?
Yes. So, I'd better be off. Now, Nettie, don't look as if I were on my way to Rio or something.
Well, it's just that I miss you so. I want to be with you all the time.
Oh, dear, do I have to go through this every morning? I'll be back at supper. Now, there's no need to cry now, is there?
No, darling. You aren't displeased with me, are you? I try so hard to do everything just as I think you'll like it.
I know, no. I'm not displeased. Now, goodbye, dear.
Henry.
Yes?
You forgot to kiss me goodbye.
No strings attached, no strings attached. A very nice puppet with no strings attached. Let's see now. Jumble shop. 43 South Wesley. Well, that should be about... here it is.
Yes?
Mr. Zeig?
Yes?
Walter Brayling recommended me.
Enter.
Thank you.
Your name?
Henry Smith, 55 Evergreen Place.
And what can we do for you, Mr. Smith?
Well, Mr. Brayling showed me his marionette last night. I was intrigued with the idea. Not that my wife is anything like that female meat grinder he's married to, you understand, but, I'm a man who enjoys an occasional evening with the boys, you know, without complications.
Naturally.
Yes, so I thought...
that I could duplicate you?
Exactly.
Oh, I think it might be arranged.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, how much?
$9,000. I have an inferior model at $7,500.
No. If I go through with this, nothing is too good for Nettie. Nettie's my wife. We've been putting money aside to buy a summer home in Westport, but...
Yeah, sometimes we must choose.
Yes. Well, perhaps I could just slip out $9,000. It's a joint account. How soon could I have it?
Oh, I could construct a mannequin in about 2 months' time.
Good.
Shall I consider the order placed?
At once.
Of course, you'll have to report here for a body mold, color index of your hair, lips, skin, etc. And I'll have to do a complete electro-emotional calibration.
Uh-huh. Now, you guarantee that these models are foolproof?
As foolproof as I can make them, Mr. Smith. And I've had years of training.
And there's no chance of detection?
None whatever. I've never had a complaint.
Very well, Mr. Zeig. I'll get the money from the bank and send it to you.
I'm sure you won't be sorry, Mr. Smith. You will be just as satisfied as Walter Brayling.
Oh, Teller.
Yes, Mr. Smith?
I'd like to cash this draft on my joint account, please.
Yes, sir. $9,000, sir?
That's right.
Oh, I'm afraid that's impossible, Mr. Smith.
Impossible? My wife and I have a good $15,000 in our account.
You're mistaken, Mr. Smith.
Well, I know.
Here's your card, sir. You see, Mrs. Smith withdrew $10,000 recently.
$10,000? Without even telling me?
I remember it distinctly, Mr. Smith. She said it was for a surprise for you.
Oh, good Lord, she's bought that house in Connecticut. My birthday is next week. Oh, no. I've got to borrow it somewhere. I've already contracted.
Yes, sir. Quite a surprise for you. Mr. Smith?
Yes? Oh, hello, Henry.
Hello, Gloria. Is Walter home? I'd like to speak to him.
He should be back soon. Will you wait?
Yes, I'd better.
Oh, say, Henry, as long as you're here, maybe you can help me with something.
What?
I went downstairs to get an old suitcase a little while ago, and I heard the strangest noises near that old tool chest of Walter's. He mentioned that the boiler was acting up, and, well, I'm afraid to go down there again. I wonder if you'd take a look.
What kind of noises?
Like a thumping sound.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe I'd better go down, Gloria. You stay up here.
Should I call a plumber, do you think?
No. I'll take care of it.
Well, it's right down those stairs.
All right, I'll have a look. Hello? Hello in there.
Let me out! Let me out!
Just a minute. Keep quiet, for goodness sake.
Let me out!
I'll have to smash the lock. Now, what?
Henry, thank God you've come.
What's the matter?
I've been in there all night. I thought I'd suffocate. He tried to kill me. He tried to murder me.
Who? Which one are you?
No, don't be an idiot. I'm Walter.
What happened?
Me, too, the marionette. He stuffed me in a toolbox and left me to suffocate.
What?
Fortunately, I found an old file in there, managed to get an air hole through the wood.
Good Lord. He's taking Gloria with him to Rio.
Have they left yet?
No, he's gone downtown for the tickets.
Good. We may have time.
For what?
To get down to Marionettes Incorporated and tell Mr. Zeig to stop him.
You're in no condition.
So don't worry about me. We can't waste any time. Now, come on.
What about Gloria?
I'll sneak out. Tell her that you fixed the plumbing. Tell her anything. I'll meet you outside.
All right.
What a fool I've been.
Oh, what a fool I almost was. I went down and ordered one of those things today.
Gloria, love.
Yes, darling. Did you get the tickets to Rio?
Right here in my wallet. A honeymoon for two under the Pampas moon.
Oh, Walter, it's so nice to have you like this.
Oh, you like the change?
I don't know what did it, but whatever it is, I'm in favor of it. I hope it's permanent.
Well, I intend to see that it is. By the way, darling, do you happen to remember where that old pistol of mine is?
Pistol?
Yeah, I just thought, since we're going to be traveling in strange countries, well, it wouldn't hurt to bring it along.
Well, I think it's here in the sideboard. There. You know how frightened I am of these things.
Well, I'll be very careful of it. In fact, I think I'll go down to the basement and practice. Not really shooting it, of course, just to make sure it's in good working order.
Well, now, do be careful, darling.
Oh, I will. If you should hear a shot, now, don't be frightened. I may fire it into a block of wood just to test it. Perhaps I'll fire it into that old tool chest of mine. That should absorb it.
Oh, speaking of that tool chest...
What about it?
It reminds me that Henry Smith was here.
Oh?
Yes, I heard some noises downstairs, and he went to fix the plumbing.
Oh, is he still down there?
No, he left. I really don't understand it. He seemed so anxious to see you before he went down to the cellar. And then he just left.
Did he stop the noises?
Well, he must have. I don't hear them.
Yeah, I see.
What is it, dear?
Well, I have to go out for a while, darling.
But, Walter, we have to pack if we're leaving.
Well, I'll be back soon. There's something very important I have to attend to.
What is it?
Well, just some personal business with Henry Smith. Now, please excuse me, darling. And now, don't worry. When I get back, everything will be fixed once and for all. Oh, we can enjoy the rest of our lives just as though the old Walter Brayling never existed.
Oh, Mr. Brayling and Mr. Smith. Come in, gentlemen, come in. What brings you?
Mr. Zeig, you told me your marionettes were foolproof.
They are. My personal guarantee goes with
We know all
one.
about your personal guarantee. Except that Mr. Brayling's dummy knocked him out, stuffed him in a toolbox to suffocate, and is making plans to run away with his wife.
Oh, dear.
Yes, well, Mr. Zeig.
Well, I really don't know what to say, gentlemen.
What Mr. Brayling and myself would like to know, Mr. Zeig, is exactly what are you planning to do to stop this overambitious robot?
Well, of course, we shall have to recover B2 first, and then I'll simply dismantle him and...
Well, he doesn't seem to want to be dismantled, Mr. Zeig. In fact, I think that you'll have trouble catching him.
Maybe I can save you the trouble, gentlemen.
Yeah, B2.
Look out, he's got a gun.
I thought I'd find you here when I discovered the tool chest empty.
Now, you look, B2. Whatever you're planning, you won't get away with it.
Oh, I think I will.
Mr. Zeig, can't you do something?
I'm afraid I can't think of anything.
I'll save you the trouble because I'm going to kill the three of you.
No, you won't get away with it.
No, you forget that Gloria and I will be on the plane to Rio in a few hours. All right, Mr. Zeig, you first.
Now, see here. This isn't fair. I created you. You can't.
You grab him.
I've got him.
Now, quick, that hammer.
Look out!
Oh, well, that's the end of Brayling, too.
But he got Zeig, though.
Yeah.
Right through the... Holy jumping catfish. And look at him. Look at Zeig.
It's nothing but a mass of coils and springs, just like Brayling, too. Well, he's nothing but a marionette. He's no different. Brayling. Do you know what this means?
Oh, this is incredible.
A marionette building other marionettes?
But someone must have built Mr. Zeig originally. I wonder what...
Well, perhaps Mr. Zeig turned on whoever built him the same way Brayling, too, turned on you.
At any rate, we'll never know.
Oh. Say, I wonder how many of these things are walking around among us.
Oh, I shudder to think of that.
You know, some of our best friends might be.
Ooh.
Yeah. Come on, we have to get out of here.
But the police...
Now, don't be a fool, Brayling. There's been no crime committed here. All the police will find is two oversized puppets with the springs coming out of them.
And they seem so lifelike.
Yes, I know, and they were only machinery. You got to remember that.
Yes. Well, what'll I tell Gloria?
Well, if I were you, Brayling, I wouldn't tell Gloria a thing. I'd simply pick up that other ticket to Rio and take her on a honeymoon, just as she's expecting.
But what about you, though, Henry? What are you going to do?
Me? Well, I'm going home and give Nettie a kiss that'll singe your hair. Oh, you know, when I think of what might have happened if I'd gone through with this marionette thing, that makes a fellow realize how lucky he is to be married to a decent woman. Oh, come on, let's go. Nettie? Nettie? Where are you, sweetheart?
In here, darling.
Oh, I've missed you today. Come here.
Oh, Henry.
Oh,
you look tired, darling. Can I do something for you? Just tell me. I'm yours to command.
Oh, man's a fool to jeopardize a nice home and a loving wife like you. Oh, you do love me, don't you, Nettie?
Oh, you know I do. Here, let me get your slippers on.
No. Oh, it feels good to sit back on the sofa and relax. Oh, you don't know what a trying day I've had.
Oh, I can see you're all upset. It isn't anything I've done, is it, dearest?
Oh, no. Well, in a way, something you've done is connected with it, yes.
What's that, darling?
The money.
Money?
Now, I know you wanted to surprise me with the house, darling, but really you shouldn't have taken that money out of the bank without consulting me.
Henry, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Now, Nettie.
But I don't.
Nettie.
Oh, you're so upset, darling. If it's anything important, let's talk about it later. Meanwhile, why don't you just put your head on my shoulder and rest?
Well, I must admit that sounds enticing.
Here, let me make you comfortable. There. Now, just close your eyes. That's it.
Nettie,
Yes, darling?
you hear something?
No, darling.
You sure?
Like what?
Like the ticking of the clock?
No.
Strange. I don't hear it now, but when I had my ear against your chest... Oh, no. Oh, no, she couldn't have done that to me. Not Nettie.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about... No, I won't believe it. You're my Nettie, aren't you? You're real live flesh and blood. But I hear it. It's coming from you. It's coming from you.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Marionettes, Incorporated, written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Les Damon, Dick Hamilton, Carl Swenson, Theo Getz, Arthur Cole, Bob Hastings, Freddie Chandler, and Ginger Jones. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Pro Football Championship, Los Angeles Rams versus Cleveland Browns, Monday, NBC Radio.
The magic island of Euclidia is over 4,000 miles from Los Angeles, California. Yet most of the activity of our story has been around Los Angeles for some little time. To begin with, Mrs. Gregory and her entire party were landed safely back in California, the Euclidean girl submarine commander bringing her rocket plane down on Lake Hollywood. Now, Captain Bradford and this girl have set off again in the rocket plane, trying to reach Euclidia before G-47 and the scientists can escape. Mrs. Gregory, with Jerry and Joan and her crew, are to follow immediately with a large boat chartered for the occasion. We find Mrs. Gregory with her trusted employee, Johnson, waiting impatiently at the harbor for Jerry and Joan.
Oh, how long have we been waiting now, Johnson?
Over 3 hours, Mrs. Gregory.
3 hours. And what has happened?
Well, we have no way of knowing for sure.
No way of knowing. And somewhere in that southern sky, Tex and Elaine are hurtling toward Euclidia at a speed of 1,000 miles an hour. Yet we have no way of knowing exactly what's happening to them. Jerry and Joan, over 3 hours since they went to Lake Hollywood to help Tex and Elaine take off. Yet we have no way of knowing where they are.
Well, nevertheless, I think we're doing the only sensible thing by remaining here on your boat, in the radio cabin. We're connected to the shore telephone, and they'll get word to us the minute they can do so safely.
But what could have happened to them?
Well, nothing very serious, or we'd have heard from them.
Oh, no, Johnson. It must be something serious. That's the reason we don't hear.
But we do know they left the lake 3 hours ago. We've sent 2 people up there, and no sign of them.
Johnson, I'm not ordinarily frightened by things like this. But we've seen so much of the power of these people. The Euclideans are clever and dangerous. Oh, I think Tex and that girl can take care of themselves. But Jerry and Joan have disappeared. In Hollywood, in broad daylight. It just isn't reasonable.
Well, they're not here, and we can't do anything but lie here and wait for them.
I know. But Tex expects us to be over 3 hours on our way by this time. Do you realize that we'll be 6 days getting to Euclidia, and that Tex and Elaine will have to keep that little plane afloat over that location for 6 days, threatening the Euclideans and bluffing them into staying underwater and living on condensed food?
Yes, but all of that will be a matter of routine to both of them. The captain knows his business, and the girl strikes me as being more than usually clever.
Oh, she's remarkable. And Tex is a grand person, but neither of them can work miracles.
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gregory. There's nothing more I can say.
I understand, Johnson. And I'm sorry for being such a worry to you.
I'll take it. Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
This is Johnson speaking.
Hello, Johnson. This is Jerry.
Jerry?
Jerry, Joan.
May I speak to Mrs. Gregory, please?
Sure. Hold it a minute. He wants to speak to you.
Oh, thanks, Johnson. Jerry, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. Joan's fine, too. Although we had a little trouble getting away to come down there.
Well, where are you now?
Oh, we're in jail.
In jail?
Yes, I'm in jail. A good, strong jail, too. But we're going to get out right away.
Well, what did you do to get yourselves in there?
Oh, just what we thought was best to do. We tried to keep the story of what was going on from getting to the papers and the radio stations, and we kept it quiet for 3 hours, but it's gone now.
Well, that may be long enough, Jerry. We have a man waiting with his set open in the radio shack. We haven't heard anything yet, or we'd have found out about it.
Oh, okay. We just talked to the chief and got everything fixed up. We'll be there in half an hour.
Half an hour? Well, you can't make that, Jerry.
Yes, we can. The chief's going to give us a police escort. We'll be there and ready to go in half an hour.
Well, we'll be ready to cast off when you arrive. Goodbye, Jerry.
Bye.
So they're in jail.
Yes. Jerry says they got there trying to keep the news of our departure a secret.
Well, I think they were trying to cover up the captain's flight.
Oh, of course they were. Tex said that no matter what happened, we weren't to try to communicate with him or let anyone know he'd gone until they'd had 4 hours. That's put them at Euclidia.
Well, Jerry's apparently done his best, even to the point of going to jail over it.
Oh, he's a great boy, Jerry is. He's been a wonderful help to us. Now, Johnson, I think we'd better get ready to shove off. If Jerry and Joan make it here in a half an hour.
How do you like it, Joan?
Oh, I like it very much. I have never ridden like this before.
These police cars are sure made to go when they have to.
Those men on the what do you call them?
Motorcycles?
Yes, the motorcycles. They ride fearlessly and clear the way for us.
We're sure doing it in style, all right. Well, Joan, in just a few minutes we'll be on board the boat on our way to Euclidia again.
And I hope for the last time. I want to live in your world, Jerry, with all of Mother's sensible, normal friends.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But, well, I like all this Magic Island stuff. Of course, it's exciting to me.
I beg your pardon, young lady.
Oh, yes, officer?
Sergeant, Joan, Sergeant.
I am sorry, Sergeant.
You're Mrs. Gregory's little daughter, I take.
Yes, sir.
And you lived 14 years on that thing they call the Magic Island?
That is correct.
Then, would you be so good as to give me your autograph?
My autograph?
You know, Joan, like the picture stars do. Sign your name for the sergeant.
Would you do that?
I should be glad to, but I cannot understand your request. I do not know the customs of Hollywood, but I thought only celebrated people were asked for their autograph.
You're celebrated enough in my house. Sure, I've got a small daughter of my own, only 6 years old, and I've had many an argument with her. I tell her the old Irish bedtime stories about the banshees. They're the little people who come out at night, you know.
No, I did not know.
Well, they do. Many's the time I've heard the banshees wailing and seen the fairies dancing over the bog in County Down. But will my little girl believe that? She will not. Says she, there's no such thing as fairies.
Well, I agree with her.
Shame on you, Jerry Hart. And with a name like yours, too. And this beautiful girl sitting right beside you.
I will sign my name for you, officer, Sergeant. But what has that to do with your little girl?
Sure, and if I show her your name, written in my traffic book, she'll believe me. She knows all about the Magic Island. And when she says that I've really had you riding in my car, I'll have less trouble with my bedtime stories hereafter.
I guess you might at that. Okay, Joan, sign your name for the Sarge.
It will be a pleasure. Only think of it, Jerry. I have been asked for my autograph.
Yeah, I know. And when we get home, I suppose you want to go to work in the pictures.
I should not mind.
Well, there's no time for that now. We're pretty near the harbor, and we'll be plenty busy explaining to your mother after we do get there.
I've made the rounds for the third time, Mrs. Gregory. Everything's shipshape, and a couple of the men are holding us fast with hand-snubbed lines.
Well, they should be here any minute now. Oh, Skipper.
All right.
Will you start the motors and stand by to shove off the instant Jerry and Joan are aboard?
Aye. Nearly 4 hours since the captain took off.
Well, I think we may expect to hear from him almost immediately after he lands at Euclidia.
Listen.
Yes, they're coming. Jerry said they had a police escort.
And I'll bet Jerry's making the most of that.
To say nothing of the thrill it is for Joan.
Well, McLeod's on his toes. He's starting the motors.
I wish we could hear from Tex.
Well, he hasn't been gone quite 4 hours, and they wouldn't have much chance of making it in less than that.
Johnson, listen.
They're on the pier now. It'll only be a minute.
Oh, Skipper.
Aye.
They're coming.
Aye.
Ready to shove off?
Aye.
Will you please go in the radio shack and wait, Johnson? I know you won't miss anything. I'll meet them and order our sailing.
Very well, Mrs. Gregory. I'll watch the radio.
Good night, and good luck to the two of you.
Hurry, Joan.
We are coming, Mother.
Hi, Skipper. Shove off. We're here.
Not so fast, Jerry.
Oh, give me a hand, Joan. Come on. Over you go.
Oh, thank you.
Hurry into my cabin, you two. Cast off, Skipper.
Aye.
And full speed ahead at every possible moment.
Aye.
We are sorry to be so late, Mother.
Oh, I'm sure you couldn't avoid it.
We sure couldn't. You see, Mrs. Gregory...
One moment, Jerry. Wait until we get in the cabin.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, somebody on board you can't trust?
No, Jerry. Just that I want to talk in here where Johnson can reach me immediately if he picks up anything on the radio.
No news of the captain as yet.
No, but we're expecting it any time.
Golly, we sure got underway quick.
Yes, Jerry, we've been waiting for you over 3 hours, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Mrs. Gregory, but we had a good reason. You see, a reporter and a cameraman followed us to Lake Hollywood and saw the captain and Elaine take off in the Euclidean rocket plane.
Oh, Jerry, they didn't know what Texas' destination was.
They seem to have a very good idea.
But how, Joan?
Well, golly whiskers, Mrs. Gregory. Everybody in the country knows about our trip down to Magic Island, and I'll bet plenty of people managed to find out we got back all right.
But they couldn't possibly have known about Texas formula or what he plans to do at the underwater city.
No, Mother. They do not even suspect the existence of Euclidia. But they do know a great deal about the Magic Island.
What happened?
Well, they came dashing up just as the rocket plane took off. But they were too late to get a good picture of it.
But they took our pictures, Mother.
Well, that couldn't do any harm. But how did you get in jail?
Well, we figured that Tex didn't want any stories about this flight of his to get out until he was at Euclidia.
Knowing that Elaine and the captain were afraid G-47 would be inspired to make a desperate attempt to escape if he realized capture was so near.
That's right. But you couldn't stop the story.
Oh, we did for a while. Well, I took a shortcut over the hills and headed them off on a one-way road and swung your car around so it blocked the road and couldn't be moved. Then we had plenty of luck when the road behind them filled up with cars before they could get out.
And then the officers came, and Jerry talked very fast, even faster than usual. And the officer agreed to take the two newspapermen to jail with us.
Oh, very nice, Jerry. And did they take them?
Oh, boy, they sure did. I told the cop who arrested us just enough about you and the captain that he knew I had something serious to tell. And he agreed to hold those fellows and not let them get the story out until I had a chance to explain it at headquarters.
But how did you get the chief's attention at this time of day?
Well, I just kept asking for him and saying you told me to talk to him. And pretty soon he came down to the jail. Well, after I told him the whole story, he held us all 3 hours. And then let the reporters out at the same time he sent us down here.
We tried to get away earlier to join you, but the chief said he really had no reason to hold those men, unless he held us also. And Jerry and I agreed that those 3 hours meant more to Captain Bradford and Elaine than they would to this boat.
And you thought exactly right. Tex should have time enough to land at Euclidia and take control before that news can possibly reach G-47.
Well, that's what we figured.
Well, children, we're off on another mad race to the South Sea.
I hope this is the last one.
Don't worry, it will be. And when you get back, you can walk up and down Hollywood Boulevard all day handing out your autograph.
Why, Jerry, what does that remark mean?
I am a celebrity, Mother. I have given my autograph to a sergeant of police.
Oh, Jonesy. I know you don't realize it, but you're a born diplomat. As long as you have the officers asking for your autograph, you'll do very well in our world.
Captain Tex Bradford and Elaine Raleigh, the Euclidean girl submarine commander who has joined the Gregory party, have been flying 4 hours in the stolen Euclidean rocket plane, trying to reach the location of Euclidia before their fuel gives out. Just outside Los Angeles Harbor, a small passenger vessel, chartered by Mrs. Gregory, has put to sea, heading for the same location, but expecting to require between 5 and 6 days to reach the captain and Elaine. On board with Mrs. Gregory are Joan, Jerry, and their faithful friends of previous cruises. Our story today leaves them 4,000 miles behind, however, and we join Elaine and Captain Tex Bradford in the Euclidean rocket plane.
How's the fuel holding out, Elaine?
It is nearly exhausted, Captain Bradford.
Think we can make it?
I am checking our position.
No, we've got 25,000 feet of altitude to help us.
I believe we will need it. It is foolish to waste our last bit of fuel if we may glide down and save it.
Well, why save it?
We may need it later.
There won't be enough left to take us anywhere.
No, but there may be sufficient to keep us from drifting anywhere.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm getting old.
No one person can think of everything.
You seem to do a pretty good job of it.
Thank you.
Found out where we are?
We are within gliding distance of Euclidia.
Okay, cut your power and let's go down.
I am doing so.
I just had another pleasant thought to add to our troubles.
If it concerns something we can do nothing about, it is not wise to worry about it.
Well, we can't do anything about this, but I can't help worrying about it either.
What is it?
We're not going to have fuel enough left to take us very far from where we land, is that right?
Correct.
And what happens to us if we find that G47 and his Euclideans are swarming all over the water waiting for us?
That is indeed an unpleasant thought. However, you must have thought of that before this.
Yes, I have, but it looks a little different when you're looking at it from back home and when you're drifting down into it.
I hope we will find the submarine locks of Euclidia helpless as we left them.
If you were right about how long they'd stay bottled up in there, we're okay.
It will be only a short time until we know.
How fast are we falling?
5,000 feet a minute.
Gee, that's falling pretty fast. Can we check it when we get ready?
I have tested my helium tanks. We have sufficient gas to inflate the shell and land gently.
How will we be able to tell what the Euclideans are doing?
The instant we land, I will be able to give you a full report on that.
Well, how, if you don't mind telling me?
I have directional radio beam receivers in this plane. They will register the slightest metallic disturbance. If we encounter none within a reasonable distance of the underwater city, we may be sure the Euclideans are not operating outside the confines of the city.
You seem to have covered everything. How's the altitude?
18,000 feet.
Lost 7,000 feet already.
Precisely.
How about radioing to Mrs. Gregory's boat and finding out what they're doing?
I would not recommend that as yet.
I suppose it would be better to wait until we're sure about those Euclideans.
That is my opinion. G47 and his scientists would make a desperate attempt to escape with at least a chosen few of the Euclideans.
Yeah, and he might succeed.
He would succeed very easily if he wanted to take only his chief scientists.
They'd use the same surface lock we escaped from, I suppose.
Exactly.
But they wouldn't take any boat, no way of getting away from that position.
Not for any great distance, to be sure. But they have life rafts which could be inflated and float them for some time.
I'd hate to be playing around among the sharks in a rubber lifeboat for very long.
Those boats are not rubber. They are made of very thin copper. They do not tear easily, and the Euclideans' ray guns would discourage the sharks for some time.
Nice play we're getting into.
It does present difficulties. However, I believe we will overcome them.
That right? 11,000 feet?
Yes.
Falling more than 5,000 a minute, then.
I think not.
Have you anything strong enough to study that water through at this altitude?
Naturally. That slender copper tube set into the panel before you. Pull the tube downward.
Like this? Ouch!
Yes, Captain. That is correct.
Maybe, but I don't like my telescopes hitting me in the head.
Its length is greater than you would expect. You may now look downward through it.
Don't you have to aim it at anything?
That is a reflecting telescope with a lens perfected on Euclidia. You will be able to sweep a mile section of ocean surface clearly from this altitude.
Which is,
8,000 feet.
Anything I can do about the particular part of the ocean I might want to look at?
Not with that instrument. It is, however, perhaps the most effective thing you could use at this time. The focal center of that telescope is synchronized automatically with the center of our landing area. And if we change course or angle of descent, your scope will change with us.
Good enough for me. Our landing area is exactly what I want to be looking at.
The graduated scale on the shaft may aid you in focusing.
Yes, I'm trying it, but there doesn't seem to be... Yes. Hold everything, Elaine.
What do you see?
Take a look. You know more about what to expect than I do. I suggest you don't go down any lower until you do take a look.
I'm stabilizing at this altitude. We are now 5,000 feet.
Well, hurry up and look.
I am. And I see what you saw. That, Captain Bradford, is a Euclidean life raft with several persons aboard.
Which does what to us?
That remains to be seen.
Would they have a radio on that thing?
Undoubtedly.
Then if we radio Mrs. Gregory's boat, they'll hear it down there?
Probably.
Just the same, I've got an idea, and I'm going to try it out.
You are in command, Captain.
Have those Euclideans any way of knowing that we're almost out of fuel?
No. If we had not carried an excess load to Los Angeles and flown at excess speed coming back, we should have fuel for several hundred miles.
Good. Now I'm going to try something. And no matter how crazy it sounds, don't interrupt until I'm through.
Proceed, Captain. The transmitter is ready for you.
Bradford to Gregory boat. Bradford to Gregory boat. QRS. If you are getting me, make it snappy. We haven't any time to waste. This is emergent.
Hall is answering.
Can you hear me clearly, Jerry?
Swell. Go ahead.
We are over Euclidia. From the looks of things on the water, some of them are trying to escape. We are going down and drop some of my solvent on their raft. Naturally, they can't hold out long. If they came out of where we think they did, they'll have to jump for their lives and dive down into that airlock again. Have you got that much of it?
Got it all. What do we do?
Just keep coming as fast as you can. We'll set down over that lock and anchor the solvent around Euclidia where it will do the most good. I just want you to know our plans so you understand that we'll be on the water and saving our radio power if you don't hear for some time.
Okay. I'll tell Mrs. Gregory. Everything's fine here, and we're getting 21 knots out of this old tub.
Good work, kid. Now keep your chin up. We'll be seeing you. That's all. Cut the transmitter.
I have done so.
Well, how about it?
It was an excellent idea, Captain. Now we shall see if the Euclideans are taking it seriously.
Well, if they didn't hear it, we'll have to do it all over again.
Would Jerry understand?
You bet he would. That boy doesn't ask any questions till he knows the meeting's open.
There is some activity in the life raft below.
Are they getting ready to leave it?
I cannot be sure, but it looks as if they are indeed putting on their helmets.
And we'd better get down there to make this attack of ours look as real as we can.
Agreed. We descend.
How quick can we get down there?
Allowing for time to circle as we descend, keeping that point under the axis of our circle, we should land in 120 seconds.
And can they all get back into that lock in 2 minutes?
Hardly. Not and deflate the raft.
Good. That's what I want, that raft. See just how fast you can get down to them. If they abandon that raft, we may find supplies on that will do us a lot of good during the next 6 days.
Correct, Captain. We will descend as rapidly as possible.
And if our bluff doesn't work, if G47 has nerve to stay on top of the water and see this thing through, well, we haven't a chance in the world of beating him.
I believe we have. This plane will afford us much more protection than an open raft, and we can easily extinguish their lives with our heavy ray guns.
Oh, none of that, Elaine. You don't seem to get the idea that in our world we don't go around killing people. Either we'll take these Euclideans prisoners one of these days, or they'll take us again.
Yours is a strange world, Captain, but I realize that you are right.
However, it's mighty poor satisfaction to be right if you lose out.
I think you will not lose, Captain Bradford.
What do you see now?
You watch through the scope. I will maneuver for a landing.
Yep. They're leaving the raft. And they're getting off fast. Say, they won't have time to take it with them.
That is well.
Drop down there just as fast as you can. We'll grab it.
I would suggest not rushing into a landing in that exact spot, Captain Bradford.
But I'd like to get the provisions off the raft.
Precisely. And G47 knows that beyond a doubt, or at least suspects that you want the raft.
But we're running out of fuel.
We have run out.
All gone?
There is no more fuel.
And we'll have to land right on that spot if we're going to make sure they stay down under.
I will have enough compressed helium to use for surface maneuvers for several days, I believe, and I advise against landing near that raft.
But why? They can't hurt us. Now, look, the last man is going over the side of that raft now. They can't have anything on but those temporary diving helmets, and they haven't any choice but to get back into that lock.
Nevertheless, with your permission, I will land at least 100 yards from that raft.
Well, I can't see any reason for it, but I know you must have one.
I have. And in a very few seconds, I will show you an active demonstration of my reason.
Well, what are you going to do?
I am gliding toward that raft, exactly as if I expected to land there. But at the last second, I will elevate the nose of this plane and attempt to glide beyond the raft, passing over it at an elevation of about 50 feet.
And then?
I am not sure, but I would suggest that you brace yourself firmly in that seat.
I begin to get the idea. They're not going to leave that raft helpless for us to pick up so easily.
That is my thought. Brace yourself tightly. I will now glide above the raft, and we will see what G47 has left for us. What do you think now, Captain?
I think that's about as close to getting blown to bits as I ever want to come.
It was indeed too near for comfort. I will now land as gently as possible, though you might preserve your position of self-protection, as I do not want to waste our helium in landing perfectly.
Well, save the gas. Go ahead and smack the water as hard as this ship will stand. After the tossing around that explosion gave us, I can stand anything.
Brace yourself. We will now land.
Okay.
We are now stabilized on the surface of the water.
How far from that airlock?
Approximately 200 yards from the spot at which the raft was blown up.
Good. Now, I suggest you use a little of the gas to get back directly over that airlock. Then we'll take steps to bottle the Euclidians up good and tight.
Very well.
Have you any of those magnetic bombs?
Several.
All right. Use a couple of them to hold that airlock shut, and we'll save my solvent until we actually have to use it.
Agreed. I will release a bomb when we are over the lock. One such charge will paralyze the lock for 2 hours.
Good. And after I'm sure those fellas can't get at me, I'll dive down there and fix some of the solvent to the lock gate. Then we'll be safe indefinitely.
Excellent. Well, Captain Bradford, it looks as if you are in command of the city of Euclidia at last. We are directly over the lock. The city is powerless.
Sometimes it's fun to try to pitch yourself against a puzzle. Try considering tonight's story as a puzzle. It's a story about a monster. That's a familiar theme in science fiction and fantasy. But tonight's story deals with an impossible monster. See if you understand enough of the relationship of living things to figure out why this monster is impossible. When men go out into space, sooner or later in their explorations, they're going to meet somewhere, on some world, something that's mighty darn dangerous. And the real danger is that it might be brought home unknowingly. That's a kind of unpleasant thought at times, isn't it? I wonder how deadly, how disastrous a thing might be brought home.
It's past 10. Marge, when is this brother of yours getting here? Midnight?
Oh, Dave, don't start getting upset about it. Send him a little late. Don't forget it's 5 years since he was last on Earth.
5 years, I know 5 years. The ship landed 7:30. It doesn't take 3 hours to get here from the spaceport.
Well, maybe there's some routine he had to go through before he could leave the customs. I understand there's a comprehensive medical examination for all returning from outer space.
That's all we need. Some weird disease he picked up on Alpha Centauri 5.
Oh, no, they wouldn't let him near civilians if he had any such disease.
Well, all I can say is that if he doesn't show his face here by 11, I'm going to go upstairs and go to bed. I need my sleep.
Oh, there he is now, Dave. Oh, I knew he'd be here on time. Now, be nice to him, Dave. He is my brother, after all, and I haven't seen him since '89.
Okay, I'll be polite. I'll go let him in. Oh, there. Come on, right on in. My name is Dave Sporley.
Thanks. I appreciate this, Dave.
Oh, Ted. Oh, Ted.
Hello, sis. Well, stand back and let me look at you. This is a big girl now, isn't she?
Well, I'm almost 24. I married Dave 3 years ago.
Well, you haven't changed much in 5 years? Same red hair, that dimple, freckles on your nose?
Was there much red tape before you could leave customs?
Just a medical exam. They gave me a quick look to make sure I wasn't carrying the plague. I was cleared through around 8:15.
Oh, you must have stopped off for a little nip before coming here then, huh?
No, I came straight here from the spaceport.
Oh, but it only takes half an hour by rocket tube.
No one said anything to me about a rocket tube. I took the subway.
The subway? Oh, really? Now, the subway all the way out here? No wonder it took you so long.
Say, the rocket tube's only been in operation for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
That's why Ted didn't use it.
Yeah.
He didn't know it existed.
The world changes more than you think in 5 years. The new model autos that drive themselves, 3D video, the robots. Those things were all new when I last was on Earth. Now they're commonplace to everyone except me.
Come on into the living room. You'll probably want to rest up. I'll give you a drink, put a little music on.
And you can tell us all about your 5 years in space.
Bedenoff. You miss him out in space.
Hey, can I dial you a drink?
Scotch, thanks. I'll take it neat.
Oh, same old Ted. Still likes the same music and still drinks the same kind of drink.
It's only been 5 years. I haven't been away forever.
Can you tell us where you've been? Or is that classified?
Well, some of it is. But I covered a lot of ground. You ought to see the night sky on Deneb 9, Marge. 500 little moons up there like whirling knives in the darkness. And the 17th planet of the Vega system, 2 billion miles from its sun, and yet there's that great blazing light in the sky, so bright that we had to wear special eye lenses.
Join the Space Force and see the galaxy. It's really cruising.
It was good of both of you to offer to put me up while I'm on ground leave. No treat to be in a world where you have no friends and only one living relative.
Oh, don't mention it, Ted. How long did you say that you were staying?
3 weeks. That's all right with you.
And then you go back to space for another 5 years?
That's right. Survey trip this time. Around the galactic rim.
How exciting that must be.
Just his job, after all, Marge.
But how much more exciting it must be to be a spaceman than a newspaper man.
You a newspaper man, Dave?
I work for one of the system-wide news services.
That's a job that keeps humming all the time. We spacemen spend 3/4 of our time drifting through nowhere between planets, playing solitaire, watching old films, and thinking about Earth.
Yes, but when the waiting's over, when you finally reach another sun and walk on alien soil.
Yes, then it becomes worthwhile. Well, you must excuse me. I've had a busy day. Aboard ship and then getting out here.
Of course. If you'd like me to show you up to the room, why...
I appreciate that. Gee, this house is so full of new gadgets that I hardly know what anything does. Now, this thing over here...
Watch out, don't! Ted, your arms!
My arm's all right, Marge.
Look, that was the water disposal unit. Anything you put in there gets converted into energy.
Oh, but look, I put my arm back in time, see?
Yeah, but we heard the sound. When you activate the unit, it crackles like that.
And I saw your hand in there up to the wrist.
You're both imagining things. All I did was toss a piece of candy in to see what would happen. My hand didn't come anywhere near it.
But I saw your hand go in, Ted. And the disposal field crackled. And yet your hand's all right. I don't understand it.
I tell you, my hand didn't come anywhere near it, Marge. Dave, would you show me to my room? I'm pretty worn out.
But I saw his hand go in. I saw it.
Living organism, anywhere, is to be able to meet its environment, to survive, to handle the situations it encounters, handle them at least well enough to maintain its own existence as a species. It's not so obvious that you can overdo that, but you know you can. He's all moved in upstairs to the guest room. Seems pleased with the layout. Well, suppose we turn in now, huh? It's past 11, isn't it?
Dave, I'm worried.
About what? That business about the disposal unit? Oh, it must have been our imagination.
No, I saw him clearly put his hand into that field. But when he took it out again, his hand was whole. And there are other things.
Like what?
He's different somehow, Dave.
Different? Well, sure he's different. 5 years.
No, it's not just the 5 years. His voice isn't quite the same anymore. Something weird about the way he speaks now. And his eyes, they have a far-away look. He was never like that before. Dave, he's changed. And I'm afraid of him now.
You're afraid of your own brother?
I'm afraid that he isn't my own brother anymore.
Oh,
Dave, I don't know what I'm saying, I guess, but... Well, I do feel strange about his being upstairs. As if something dangerous had entered our house.
What should I do about it? Go upstairs and ask him if he's a monster in disguise? Well, Marge, he's your brother, and you invited him here.
No, but I'm worried.
And what am I supposed to do about it? It really, believe me, it's all in your imagination.
Dave, didn't you see him stick his hand into that disposal?
No, I didn't.
But you said... But If you're just making that up, you saw it as clear as I did.
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go upstairs and ask him to leave? He can spend his furlough in some hotel.
No, of course we can't do that.
Well, then leave me alone.
But would you do one thing for me?
What is it?
Go upstairs to his room. He probably isn't asleep yet, but maybe he's getting undressed. And try to get a look at him. My brother had a scar on his chest about 5 inches long, starting from his left collarbone and running down diagonally. He got it when we were kids. And see if the man upstairs has that scar, too.
Look, Marge, you said that he liked the same drinks and the same music he always did. So why...
Why did you go upstairs and look? You could tell him you just stopped in to see if he was comfortable.
This is ridiculous, Marge. Spying on your own brother to see if he's a thing from outer space.
I'll feel happier if you go up. Oh, won't you, Dave?
All right. If it'll stop you from worrying, I'll go see if he's awake. I saw your light was still on, Ted, so I figured I'd stop in.
Why do you enter my room without knocking?
Wait. Your face is...
My face is different?
What? You look like me now. My face, that is, not yours.
I'm simply practicing.
Practicing?
Oh, don't go away. Come here, Dave.
What are you?
I'm your brother-in-law, Dave.
And your face. And your hand.
Didn't Marge tell you that I had such abilities?
No, of course not.
I guess she didn't know. I couldn't do things like this before I visited Altair 6 2 years ago. Altair has a very interesting form of native life. At the moment, nobody knows of the existence of this life form but me. It's a mimic.
Mimic?
When a spaceman known as Ted Kennedy was exploring Altair 6 2 years ago, he wandered off alone to look for wildlife. There was a big brown stone in his way. He kicked it, but the stone clung to his boot. It wasn't a stone, you see. It was a mimic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of my way and let me out of this room. You must be out of your mind.
Ted Kennedy never knew what happened to him. Within 10 seconds, the mimic had absorbed him, swallowed him up. Flesh, brain, memories and all. When the mimic had fed, it realized what a lucky find it had made. A spaceman who would be going back to Earth someday. The mimic can divide itself infinitely. It left part of itself there in its old disguise of a stone. The rest of it went back to the spaceship disguised as Ted Kennedy.
Marge said you were different, that something had happened to you.
I have all of Ted Kennedy's memories. As far as anyone can tell, I am Ted Kennedy. Right down to the last molecule. And my crew members who were all absorbed by the mimic and who are on leave now.
Oh, a whole ship was spreading all over the Earth.
Exactly. Come here, Dave.
No, let go of me.
Don't try to resist. Just take seconds, Dave.
Boy!
Just a moment more. Then it'll be over. There. Finished. Wouldn't they have a high old time? Eating those sheep would be so easy for them. Wonder how they'd make out, they and their progeny. My, they sure could live high, couldn't they?
Dave, you were gone a long time. I was getting worried.
He wasn't undressed yet. I had to wait to see the scar.
Oh, he had it then, did he?
Of course. Big purple slash across his chest when he got cut. Time he tried to climb that picket fence.
You mean he told you how he got that scar then?
What? Oh, yeah. He told me all about it. How you and he were stealing apples years ago and how the farmer came to chase you. He jumped over the fence, but he cut himself going over and you were stuck in the orchard because you couldn't get over the fence.
And he told you that?
Yes.
He never told anyone that story. He was so ashamed that he left his kid sister behind him and tried to get away. And he made me swear that I'd never tell anyone about it.
Well, he told me.
I guess 5 years does change a man. Oh. Well, it's almost midnight now. You'll be dead in the morning if you don't get some sleep, Dave. Come on, let's turn in.
Just a minute, Marge.
Dave, why are you looking at me that way?
Here.
I am here.
No, closer. Let me hold you in my arms.
Oh, why so lovey-dovey here in the living room, Dave? Dave, you look so strange.
Let me hold you.
Dave, your eyes, you look different. What's wrong with you? What happened to you upstairs? What's going on in the house?
Let me hold you, Marge.
Let go of me. You're holding me too tight, Dave.
Just a moment, Marge, and then you'll be one of us.
Dave, what are you doing to me? Dave, I don't understand. It's just hurting me.
Only a moment more before absorption, then you'll be part of it, like you and me and Ted. And soon the whole world...
Dave, no!
Marge! That's all there is to it, see? A few moments while our organism absorbs yours, and then a split, and a new Marge falling in pieces.
It's odd. I remember everything I did as Marge, clear and sharp. Only now I'm you too, Dave. And Ted. And all the members of Ted's ship crew.
And soon, everyone in the world, all merged into us. I see it's all over. I waited until you had converted it. Yeah, we better sleep now, build up our energy, and every time tomorrow we get someone alone...
We convert him into us.
Simple. Quick. All this food waiting for us on this planet. Billions of human beings. All ours. Answer it.
Why, it's Mr. Adams from next door.
Hello there, Mr. Spaulding. I know it's late at night, and I hope I'm not intruding, but I was just coming home from the movies, and as I passed by outside, it sort of seemed to me that I heard screams coming from in here.
Yes, that's right. It was my wife screaming.
Mrs. Spaulding? But you seem so calm. I mean, well, I guess everything's under control.
Yes, everything is under control.
Yes, well, if that's the case, I guess I'll be going on along home then. I'm sorry to have bothered you. I just thought maybe you might be needing some help.
We appreciate that very much, Mr. Adams. Won't you step in for a moment?
Well, it's quite late, and as you say, everything's under control.
All the same, if you'd come inside.
Yes, do come in. I'll fix you a little nightcap.
Well, just for a moment. I've always believed in being neighborly. I guess I'll come in if you're nice enough to ask me.
We're glad to have you, Mr. Adams. Hey, don't stand and haw. Come in. Close the door.
Well, it's nice of you to ask me in, Mrs. Spaulding. Yes, sir. Right nice of you to invite me in.
Tigers on that island with a million sheep. They'd starve to death, of course. They'd eat all the sheep. Then there'd be nothing to eat but tigers. They aren't good eating, I understand, even for a tiger. What do you think would happen to a monster on any planet, which is just an island in space, that became so successful that nothing could fight it? It'd starve to death, of course. That's an impossible kind of monster. There never could be such a monster as is discussed in this story.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman.
strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here is an important message.
Fellows and girls, the new front has opened. Every headline shouts the news. American troops are in the picture with every ounce of their strength. Sure, we're cheering them on, but that is not enough. We, too, must take part. Now, we know that all red-blooded Americans can't actually wear the uniform of Uncle Sam because some of us are too young or too old to join the Army or the Navy. But there is one big, important way in which we can take part. We can buy war-saving stamps and bonds. We can loan our money to Uncle Sam. We can put weapons into the hands of those American fighting men. Why, do you know that your dime spent for a war stamp is the same dime used to buy 5 .45 caliber bullets? I guess you know, too, and the Japs and the Nazis certainly do, what a soldier or sailor or Marine can do with 5 bullets. And, speaking of sailors, you might be interested to know that every time you buy 5 war stamps, that 50 cents buys enough fuel oil to carry a destroyer a full mile closer to its objective. Now, that makes buying war stamps pretty exciting, doesn't it? All right, then, let's make a promise to ourselves right now. Let's promise to buy war-saving stamps every week regularly. And you can help even more than that. You can get your friends and your mother and father and all the people you know to buy war stamps and bonds regularly. They'll want to help, too, when you explain to them how important it is for all of us to do our share to help our brothers and our friends in uniform. Our boys are going to win this war, and we've got to help them. So remember, every time you've got a dime, buy a war-saving stamp.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, Perry White, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen are now deep in the wilderness of the Hudson Bay region of northern Canada, visiting Sebastian Beauvais at his hunting lodge. Sebastian claimed to have seen a headless Indian riding through the night, twice. If he saw it a third time, according to the legend, he would die. Shortly thereafter, the cry of the Indian was heard, and his flaming figure, minus a head, was seen galloping through the forest on a huge white horse. Kent and White set out to follow the trail of the apparition through the snow-covered woods. Meanwhile, the sinister character known as the Laugher, carrying a rifle, followed the two men. As our last episode ended, Kent and White had come to the edge of a deep canyon, from which the white horse and its mysterious headless rider seemed to have taken off into thin air. And as they stood discussing the weird circumstance...
Kent, we'll have to come back here tomorrow and have a look at the bottom of that canyon.
Well, we won't find anything. That horse certainly didn't leap into space and kill himself and his rider.
Well, he certainly didn't sprout wings and take off like an airplane.
Oh, Mr. White! Chief!
Look out for yourself, Kent. I've been shot.
Chief, no. Mr. White! Great Scott, blood streaming from his temples. Got to get him back to the lodge at once and telephone for a doctor. Off for these clothes. Can't waste precious seconds.
Not even a Superman. There. Just gather him up in my arms. And now, up, and away!
Open up, Jimmy. Open the door, for heaven's sake.
It's Mr. Kent and Mr. White, Sebastian.
Ah, c'est bon. Hurry.
Mr. Kent, what's happened? Why are you carrying Mr.
Out
White?
of the way, Jim. I want to get him to that couch in front of the fireplace.
Kent, mon Dieu, what has happened? I know if you go after the headless Indian. Ah, c'est dommage. Perry, my friend.
Let me get him on that couch, please. And close the door, Jim. Don't stand there gawking.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Jimmy, have me push the couch closer to the fire.
All right.
It burn good. Perry needs to be warm. Ah, mon Dieu, mon Dieu.
Where's the nearest doctor?
Doctor, you make the joke.
No, I'm asking you.
There is no doctor for hundreds of miles.
Got to do something. Mr. White may be dying.
For 40 years in these woods, I am my own doctor. I will look at him. The pulse first. Let me see.
Sebastian...
Wait, young one, wait. What happened, Monsieur Kent?
I don't know exactly. We were standing out in the woods on the edge of a canyon when suddenly I heard a shot fired and Mr. White collapsed at my feet.
How long ago is this?
Oh, less than a minute.
What? You say Perry and you standing on the edge of the canyon? This must be Devil's Canyon. It's the only one, and it is 5 miles from here.
And you got back with Mr. White in a minute?
A minute? Oh, well, I must have made a mistake.
Well, I've noticed you make strange mistakes in what you say very often, Mr. Kent.
Well, never mind that. Mr. White may be dying.
No, he is not dying. He will be all right. The bullet grazed the side of his head. Jimmy.
Yeah?
You go to the bathroom. Bring me a small medicine kit. S'il vous plaît, quick.
Oh, wait. I mean, sure.
Fit.
Are you sure Mr. White's going to be all right, Sebastian?
Have a certainty. Hello, Kent. You're from the city. Here in the North Woods, often there is the accident. We learn how to take care of ourselves. Perry's pulse is very strong.
Oh.
Hello, even now I begin to wake up. Perry, mon ami.
What?
You see, Monsieur Kent?
Oh, thank heaven. I was so worried when I saw that blood. My only thought was to get him to a doctor as quickly as possible.
Of course. Still, I cannot understand.
What?
How do you return carrying a heavy man like Perry from the Devil Canyon in so short a time?
Well, you see...
No, Kent. I do not see. It take at least 1 full hour to reach the canyon from here. You left here 1 hour ago. How do you and Perry reach the canyon and return in that time?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the Devil's Canyon at all.
It was precipice, you say, and canyon?
Yes.
Eh bien, that is the only one near here. You know something, Mr. Kent?
What?
I like you. You are a very fine person. But I, Sebastian Beauvais, have the sixth sense. In the woods you learn that. You learn to look in the right direction when the moose or the elk cross the path. Why? The sixth sense. And my sixth sense tells me there is something strange about you. You're not what you appear.
There's nothing strange about me any more than there's something strange about that headless Indian.
You say queer words. The headless Indian is very strange, certainement.
Oh, no, the headless Indian is a trick, nothing more. And we'll prove that to you before we're through.
Bien.
Now, I'll tell you something. You're hiding something from Mr. White and me.
Huh?
Oh, don't look so surprised. Perhaps I have a sixth sense, too.
Monsieur Kent, I tell you...
It's all right. No one's rushing you. You tell us in your own good time. Just remember one thing. We can't help you unless you tell us everything. Understand?
Oui, I understand.
What are you holding back? What would you like to tell us that you feel you can't? Well?
Here's the medicine. Gosh, I hope I'm in time.
We will not fix Perry's wound here. We'll take him upstairs to his room. You bring the key, Jimmy.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you a hand with Mr. White.
Am I a weakling? Am I a puny city fellow? I carry my friend Perry in my own strong arms. So, up the stairs, Jimmy. You know the room?
Okay, follow me.
Well, since the chief's all right, I'll stay down here if you don't mind.
Not at all, monsieur. You wish to look in the fire and dream a while, n'est-ce pas? Do not worry about Perry. In the morning, he is as good as new. Bonsoir, Monsieur Kent.
Good night, Sebastian. Good night, Jim.
Good night.
Clark Kent watches the others out of the sight up the stairs, then seats himself before the fire. Slowly, the mantel clock ticks the minutes away, and the fire burns to embers. The clock strikes 1. A few moments later, the outer door opens slowly. It is the laugher who quietly enters the main room of the lodge, rifle in hand. As he moves toward the stairway, the form, not of Kent, but of Superman, rises from behind the couch and stands weirdly silhouetted in red cape and blue suit in the flickering embers of the fire.
Wait.
What?
I want to talk with you, laugher. Come here.
Who are you? I cannot see you very well. The room is so dark.
Superman.
Bless my soul, I believe it is. What in the world are you doing here?
Give me that rifle. Just as I thought. This rifle has been fired.
I've done a good deal of hunting with it.
I mean within the last few hours. What were you doing out in the woods tonight?
Attempting to kill Perry White and Clark Kent.
Oh?
Strange thing. I got White. Saw him drop. But then something happened.
What happened?
I can't say exactly. I couldn't see very well. It all happened so quickly. Suddenly, neither Kent nor White's body were there. Did you have anything to do with that?
I may have. It may also interest you to know that you failed to kill White. Your bullet grazed his temple. He's still alive. But you admit you tried to kill Perry White and almost succeeded.
Why not?
You recall in our previous meeting, Superman, I analyzed you as the type who would not kill. I also told you that no amount of pain would have any effect on me. As for the police, if you wish them to take care of me, you must have proof of any accusations you make. Accusations that cannot be proved, Superman, bounce off me like rubber balls.
Well, try and bounce this off your jaw. All right, get up.
Dear me, I dislike being buffeted about like a punching bag. I'm so fat it doesn't really hurt. Still, it wounds my dignity.
Why, you...
Take my word for it. No amount of pummeling will induce me to give up my resolve to get rid of your friends. Take me to the police, even now that I've told you it was I who fired that shot at Perry White, and I will merely deny it.
There's the evidence of the rifle, the fact that it's been fired.
An accident. I was out hunting in the moonlight, and I mistook Perry White for a deer, let us say. You see, Superman, I have alibis prepared for every emergency. There's nothing you can do to me.
There is always something I can do to you.
Not now. Why do you look at me so strangely?
There are people upstairs. People who mean to me more than my own life. They've been in many tight spots, and I've saved them every time. I'm not going to fail them now.
Perry White, Lois Lane, Clark Kent, yes, and young Jimmy Olsen, all shall perish, and there is nothing you can do about it.
As the fat man's hollow laughter echoes to the high beam ceiling, the muscles in Superman's arms tighten into steel-hard knots. For the first time in his existence, he feels an overpowering desire to kill, to crush the horrible creature standing before him, as he would a slimy reptile. But he restrains himself. There must be another way. Don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode of this thrilling story, same time, same station. Yes, and listen every day, Monday through Friday. Tune in and follow the adventures of Superman.
Yes, be sure to tune in again tomorrow for another thrilling Superman episode. And don't forget what else you're going to do tomorrow. You're going to buy just as many war stamps as you possibly can. And you're going to do that just as often as you can get Mother or Dad to give you a dime. You know, when you see that big capital S on a three-cornered shield, you recognize that as the emblem of Superman. And you know at once what it stands for. Likewise, when you see the capital letters U.S. on a war savings stamp or bond, you recognize them as the emblem of Uncle Sam, and it represents a pledge from Uncle Sam to you. It's his pledge to use every dime you loan him when you buy war-saving stamps for more bullets and guns and planes, and all the other things the American armed forces need to win a smashing victory from the Nazis and from the Japanese.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
This is Mutual.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here is an important message.
Yes, fellows and girls, here is an important message for you. A message that comes direct from our fighting Marines in the Solomon Islands. A message echoed by the Blue Jackets on the high seas, by the boys who've won the right to wear the Army and Navy wings, by our troops in Africa, our commandos in England. In fact, by every man in the American Armed Forces, no matter where he may be. And here's the message. We're going to win this war. We're going to wipe Hitlerism and fascism off the face of this earth. We've taken on the job, and we're going to see it through to the finish. But we can't do it alone. We can't do it without the help of every boy and girl and every man and woman back home. Of course, we all know what that means. We know the one way we can help those boys fight this war to a victorious finish is to see that they get all the guns and tanks and ships and planes they need. But those things require a lot of money, and that's where you and I come in. We help our government to buy those war materials by lending our money, by buying all the war stamps we possibly can as often as we can. Why, right at this moment, we have American fighting men on the new front. And they're equipped with guns and tanks and protected by planes and ships that you help to buy. That is, if you've been buying war-saving stamps regularly. This makes buying war-saving stamps pretty exciting, doesn't it? Let's make a promise to ourselves right now. Let's promise to buy war-saving stamps regularly as often as we can. Tell Mother and Dad about it. See if you can't get them to give you a dime a day for a war stamp, or a dime every other day. Remember that every dime is important because 10 cents will buy 5 .45 caliber bullets to be used by our soldiers, sailors, and Marines. 5 dimes will buy enough fuel oil to take an American destroyer 1 full mile closer to its objective. And a dime a day from all the fellows and girls in the United States will buy enough fast pursuit planes to blast Hitler's Luftwaffe out of the sky. So start right now to do your share to help win this war.
And now the adventures of Superman. Superman and his companions in adventure, Perry White, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen, are staying at Sebastian Beauvais' hunting lodge in northern Canada, trying to clear up the mystery of the headless Indian, a weird apparition that has slowly been driving the superstitious Beauvais out of his mind. Also a guest at the lodge is Niles Graham, a sinister character known as the Laugher, who has sworn to do away with Kent and his companions. In our last episode, we heard how White narrowly escaped death when a bullet fired at him by the Laugher grazed his temple. It is now early the following morning. A bitter wind is howling outside the hunting lodge, and the snow-covered landscape can barely be seen, for the sun has not yet come up. Perry White stirs in his bed, moans a little, and sits up.
Oh, my head. Where in the world am I? What happened?
You're all right, Mr. White. Don't try to get up.
Huh? Is that you, Jimmy Olsen?
Yes, sir.
Well, what are you doing here? Great heavens. Can't I even wake up without finding you sitting by my bedside?
Well, gosh, Mr. White,
forget it. Oh, what's happened? Where am I? Why is my head aching so?
Well, you had an accident last night.
Accident? What sort of a... Oh. Now it comes back. Now, let me see. We were all sitting talking to Sebastian when suddenly we heard a wolf howl, a Wendigo, Sebastian called it.
That's right.
And then we saw the headless Indian.
A headless Indian riding a big white horse and glowing like he was on fire.
Yeah. Now, let me see. Didn't Sebastian say something about... he was going to die or something?
Yes, sir. You and I had to hold him down to keep him from getting to the window. If he had seen that headless Indian, it would have been the 3rd time. That meant Sebastian was finished.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming back to me now. The howl of that Indian through the night seemed to attract him, to fascinate him. But we didn't let him see the apparition the 3rd time, so he's all right for the time being. Then it seems to me that Kent and I followed the tracks of the Indian's horse in the snow.
That's right. You and Mr. Kent went out, leaving me with Sebastian. Next thing I knew, about an hour later, a knock came at the door. When I opened it, there stood Mr. Kent carrying you in his arms.
What? Nonsense.
No, sir, it's true.
Why was Kent carrying me?
Someone fired a shot at you while you were in the woods, and it grazed your temple. You don't know how close to death you came last night.
Wait a minute. Let me think, Jimmy. Great Scott. Now I recall the whole thing. Kent and I followed those tracks right to the edge of a canyon, from which point the horse seemed to have sprouted wings and flown off into the sky.
Gosh.
Now, mind you, the hoof prints of that horse got lighter and lighter until finally they ceased to exist at all.
Golly, Mr. White, that's amazing. Unless
what?
You remember when we were out west last year up in the logging country? How I walked out into the snow one night and my footprint suddenly stopped in the snow, like I jumped into the air and hadn't come down?
Yes, but the explanation to that was that the man who stole a pair of your shoes made the marks in the snow with them himself and then backtracked on them. You can't make a horse backtrack, Jim.
No, I suppose not. But leaping mackerel, Mr. White, you don't really mean that horse took off like an airplane with the headless Indian on his back?
That's what the tracks showed. Either that or both horse and rider plunged to their deaths in that canyon. I don't believe that for a minute because, well...
Yes, sir?
Because, Jim, some sort of trick is being played here. Someone is trying to drive Sebastian out of his mind. Or if not that, to frighten him away from the lodge.
And probably the same person who fired that bullet at you last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. So, Kent carried me all the way back to the lodge, did he? Good for him. He's more of a man than I thought he was. What time is it?
A little after 6 o'clock.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Well, then, I might as well get up.
Oh, I'll help you, sir. You're sort of all tied up in the bedclothes. You did a lot of tossing around all night.
Yes, I usually do. Fretful sleeper, always Hey, wait a minute. How do you know I was tossing around all night?
Why, I was here all night.
You were here all night? In this room?
Yes, sir. I thought maybe you might need something. You know, like a glass of water or something like that. Did I do the wrong thing, Mr. White?
Oh, no. Not at all, my boy.
Oh, I thought maybe you...
Look here, boy. You couldn't have had any sleep all night.
Oh, I dozed off every now and then. I feel great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for staying up with me.
Do you think you ought to get up, Mr. White? You had a pretty bad night, and it's kind of early to be getting up. Nobody else is up.
It's not early for a woodsman, Jim.
But you were shot. You're wounded.
That doesn't amount to a row of beans. Yesterday, I promised myself I'd start out with my camera bright and early this morning and try to get some snapshots of animals, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
You're really going out into the woods with your camera?
Wild horses couldn't stop me.
Gosh.
Now, you get my hunting pants and boots out of that closet, Jim boy. My woolen socks are on this chair over here, and I'll be dressed and out in the woods before you can say Jack Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Well, first, out of these pajamas and into that heavy woolen shirt. Oh, a-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. Oh, this is going to be a great treat for me. I haven't prowled through the woods alone with a camera for years.
Here are your hunting things.
Thank you, boy, thank you.
Do you always like to go alone?
Do I like to go alone? Well, of course I like to go alone. Wouldn't go any other way. Did Daniel Boone take anyone with him on the long hunt? Did Leatherstocking let anybody come with him into the forest? Well, I should say not. Go it alone. Yes, sir. That's the only way to do it. Alone.
Oh.
What, you want to go?
Oh, gosh, could I, Mr. White? Could I?
Oh, yes.
Oh, golly, leaping mackerel, that's great. My gosh,
quiet, you little imp. You want to wake up everyone in the lodge? If you do, they'll all want to go.
Oh, golly, I'm sorry. I didn't think...
Well, think next time. Oh, I'll be dressed in the jiffy. You hurry up and get those hunting things on. The Kent boss.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll be back in no time. No time at all. Oh.
Didn't I tell him to be quiet? The blasted little... Sat by my bed all night. All night. Well. A little...
Leaping mackerel. It's freezing cold out here in these woods, Mr. White.
You got to get used to it, boy, if you're to become a woodsman.
Like Daniel Boone and Leatherstocking?
That's right.
They must have been tough men.
Yes, they certainly were.
Daniel Boone must have been a sort of Superman of his time, huh?
Well, that's one way of putting it. I suppose he... Wait.
What is it?
Quiet. I missed it.
Mr. What?
Great George, boy, didn't you see them? 3 deer standing on the trail ahead, a buck and 2 doe. The most beautiful set of horns that I've ever seen.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
Oh, what a picture that would have made. Well, there's no sense crying about it.
I guess I'm just not a woodsman.
Well, you will be. You just stick to old Perry White, and you'll learn to read signs like a veteran.
Gosh. Well, what was it you meant before? You said Daniel Boone went on what you called the long hunt.
The long hunt, Jim? Well, the long hunt was... let's stop here for a second while I light up a pipe.
Gosh, I've never seen you with a pipe before. You always smoke cigars.
A pipe in the woods, boy. Cigars just don't fit in. Here, hold this rifle.
Well, why do you carry a rifle, Mr. White, if you're not going to shoot anything, except with a camera?
Just as a protection, Jim. You never can tell when you may meet an ornery kind of animal in the woods. A wildcat or a bear or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Give me the rifle.
Yes, sir.
So, you want to know what the long hunt was,
Oh, gosh, yes.
Well, Daniel Boone used to set out into the wilderness with enough food to last maybe a week, and he wouldn't come back for 6 months.
6 months?
That's right. He'd be in the woods all that time, hunting, trapping, trading with the Indians. He lived on the game he killed, traded the skins to the Indians for trinkets and salt and other things. But he got just enough to live on. And after 6 months or so, he'd return to the stockade with a pack of skins on his back, and he'd trade those skins in at the general store for enough food and clothing to keep him through the next 6 months.
Gosh, how could a man live in the woods all that time, all by himself?
It can be done, anyhow. Boone did it. Well, come on, let's get started again.
Can I carry the rifle?
May I carry the rifle?
May I carry the rifle?
No.
Yes, sir.
You're too young yet to handle firearms, Jim. Many a boy is hurt, yes, and many a man, too, because he doesn't know how to handle guns properly. Guns are dangerous, Jim, and you've got to know how to use them, loaded or unloaded.
Yes, sir. What was that, Mr. White?
Just a partridge getting up.
Oh, golly, it made me jump.
Yes, partridges are like that. They wait till you get past them, and then off they go. Now, let's see. That partridge must have been sitting watching us back there, way back there by that tree.
Never mind back there. Look what's on the trail ahead. There's a picture.
What's that? Here, take this camera, quick.
Sure, but why?
You take the pictures. I want to have this rifle handy.
It's just a bear. I saw bears like that in Yellowstone Park when I was there.
It's not exactly the kind of bear you find in Yellowstone, Jim. It's a grizzly. One of the largest I've seen, but it's not tame.
There's nothing to be scared of, is there?
Well, the bear's coming this way, and...
Look, he sees us. She's getting up on his hind legs. Sleeping mackerel, look at that mouth.
Here, get behind me.
What?
Get behind me, I said.
That bear. He's coming toward us.
That bear means business. I've got to shoot. Well, here goes. Jim!
Mr. White, what's it?
The bear's coming straight for us, and this rifle isn't loaded.
Its hairy, muscular arms outstretched, its monstrous mouth agape, the great grizzly rushes toward Jimmy and Perry White. White, with Jimmy behind him, stands waiting helplessly, an empty rifle in his hand. In a matter of seconds, the grizzly... But no, let's wait and see what happens in tomorrow's episode. Be sure to listen, same time, same station. Tune in and follow the adventures of Superman.
Fellows and girls, don't ever get the idea there's nothing you can do to help win this war. Of course, we can't all be members of Uncle Sam's Armed Forces because some of us are too young or too old. But that doesn't mean we can't get in this fight. No, sir, because there's one big important thing we can do. We've got to see that our fighters are supplied with all the bullets and guns and tanks and ships and planes they need to wipe Hitlerism and fascism off the face of the earth. How do we do that? By buying all the war-saving stamps and bonds we possibly can. Because every time we buy a war-saving stamp or bond, we lend our government money with which to finance our fight. So remember, talk with Mother and Dad tonight about giving you an extra dime every day or every other day for war-saving stamps. And buy extra stamps from your regular weekly allowance, too. Talk about it with all your friends. Get them to make a pledge with you to buy war-saving stamps regularly.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
This is Mutual.
Stand by for Space Cadet in 30 seconds. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Yes, Kellogg's brings you the secret of a more delicious breakfast treat. It's new, it's wonderful. It's Kellogg's Raisin Bran, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. You get plump, tender raisins dipped in honeycomb, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. So try the new fruit and cereal combination. Get Kellogg's Raisin Bran because Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. And now, Kellogg's Corn Flakes, the cereal that helps you have more punch till lunch, invite you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet.
giant metallic ball hanging in the vacuum of cold black space, the Venus space station swings around its mother planet in silent orbit. Inside the cavernous man-made satellite, Space Cadet Tom Corbett and his friend and unit mate Cadet Roger Manning, on a tour of special training duty, go through the routine procedure of directing a rocket ship to a landing in one of the station's massive airlocks.
Space freighter Betty Swift from Space Station Control. Hit forward braking rockets. Steady as she goes for airlock 12. And stand by mooring cable. End transmission. Control tower to radar bridge. Check in.
Radar bridge eye. What do you want?
Check the angle of approach for the Betty Swift, Roger.
Way ahead of you, Space Boy. She's right on course.
Thanks. Stand by. Attention crew, airlock 12. Stand by for arrival of space freighter Betty Swift. Energize magnetic mooring lines. Contact in 90 seconds. That is all. Okay, Roger. Log her in.
Right, Tom. Say, how about grabbing a bite to eat? I'm off duty at 1100 hours.
So am I. Meet you in the mess hall in 10 minutes.
So then I told her I was coming back in 3 days. She could take it or leave it. And she took it. She'll be waiting at the gate when we get back to the academy.
Honestly, Roger, don't you ever get tired of talking about girls?
Oh, no, Tom. Space owls and spaceships. That's for me.
Well, changing that frequency setting on the radar just to talk to a girl almost got you thrown out of the academy.
Yeah, it was close, but you gotta admit it was a good idea.
If it hadn't been for Captain Strong making Loring confess to sabotaging that space freighter, you'd be headed back to Earth with Captain Strong facing a charge of murder, the way Loring is now.
All right, Loring. Here's your food. I'll slide it through the panel in the hatch.
Hey, how about opening up strong so I can take a little exercise? Cabin's so small I can hardly stand up.
Well, you should have thought about that when you sabotaged that freighter.
All right, safe and servant. Are you going to let me out or not?
Well, I guess it is a little cramped in there. All right. You've got 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Don't do me any favors.
And be careful, Loring.
Go on. You can put away that parallel strong unless you're afraid of me.
Just keep walking.
You guys in the Solar Guard, give me a page. Nothing but a bunch of self-righteous clowns playing soldiers. What do you get out of it? Glory?
A man like you wouldn't appreciate what it means to live honorably and fight injustice.
I suppose the Solar Guard taking away my franchise for space freighting wasn't an injustice, huh?
Well, you forced them to, Loring.
What do you mean?
You made unscheduled flights in obsolete ships. You had 7 accidents.
Nothing wrong with those ships. It's the pilot, Rod.
Just like you to accuse someone who can't defend himself.
Now, with Rod dead, you'll have a hard time convicting me. It was his idea to sabotage the ship.
You forget we have your testimony on record.
Yeah, but...
Keep walking, Loring.
Rocket Scout 7, J4 from Venus Space Station. Come in.
Hey, that's one of your Boy Scouts, Strong. You better see what he wants. Might need some help from the big soldier.
That's enough, Loring. Now just stay where you are. Venus Space Station from Rocket Scout 7, J4. Go ahead.
This is Corbett, sir. Just thought I'd check if everything's okay.
Everything's okay here, Corbett. Thanks for being concerned. Well, has Manning gotten into any more trouble yet?
No, sir. But there's no telling. He's worried about Astro arriving and rubbing it in about the radar.
He should be thankful that's all he's got to worry about. Astro should be joining you on the station soon.
Okay, sir. Spaceman's luck. End transmission.
End transmission.
I'll show you some spaceman's luck, Strong.
Get back. Get back.
You're too careless, Strong. You should never let a prisoner get too close to the control panel. The acceleration levels come out too easy, and they make good blackjack. Now, my friend, you're going for a long ride in this Rocket Scout. By the time you wake up, you'll be missing one prisoner.
Say, when things start happening to the space cadets, they happen fast. That's why a space cadet makes sure he's ready for action right from the time he rolls out of his bunk in the morning. First thing, he heads for the mess hall and helps himself to a good, nourishing breakfast built around Kellogg's cornflakes. A space cadet knows Kellogg's cornflakes are quick energy food that they help him soak up for a quick blast-off. As Astro would say,
if you want to be a real space ace, you want to stay right in shape. And that means getting the right kind of food. Now, take breakfast, for instance. A bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes is a bowl of real, quick energy food. And when I pour them in the bowl, I know I'm going to like them. Take it from me. If you want to keep in shape, have yourself a good, nourishing breakfast every morning and build it around Kellogg's cornflakes.
Right, Astro. And fellows and girls, you'll be helping yourself to more punch till lunch. More punch till lunch. So start enjoying Kellogg's cornflakes, the favorite ready-to-eat cereal of the whole universe. And now, there's a big announcement coming later in the show about a special offer from Kellogg's cornflakes. So call Mom to the radio because she'll want to hear all about it.
It is evening, 6 hours after the last teleceiver contact between Captain Strong on the rocket scout bound for Earth and Tom Corbett at Venus Space Station. Now, unaware that Loring has escaped, leaving Captain Strong unconscious on the rocket scout, Tom and Roger Manning, wearing their spacesuits and helmets, saunter idly around the outer deck of the station, relaxing between watches.
Boy, that last lunch was a long one, Roger. I thought it would never end. Say it again, Space Boy. I've looked into that radar screen so long I've got sleep before my eyes. All I want to do now is log sack time and plenty of it. Good idea. All right, open the airlock. Go ahead, Space Boy. I'll equalize pressure and oxygen. Okay. I'm glad to get this helmet off. I hate these fish bowls. You'd be a little uncomfortable without one. Out there in space? Yeah, just a little. Go on, open the inner airlock.
Attention all hands, emergency alert.
Hey, what's going on? Quiet, Roger. Let's get this.
Captain Strong has just reported the escape of the Solar Guard prisoner, James Loring.
Tom, you hear that? Amp your tubes, will you?
All Solar Guard units in space and all space stations are advised to be on the alert. It is believed he will try to reach Venus in a jet boat stolen from the rocket scout. All radar scanners are to be manned by double watch. Any unscheduled or unauthorized space flights will be reported to Solar Guard headquarters on Venus immediately. That is all.
That's enough. Come on, Roger. You're a radar technician. Let's get up to your station and start scanning. Okay, Tom. If we don't find that creep Loring, Captain Strong's going to get it in the neck. Hey, Tom, you take over for a while, will you? Give me a chance to rest my eyes. Sure thing, Roger. You didn't fight anything, huh? Nope, nothing but space junk, small meteors and things. Oh, and those 3 spaceships that landed a few minutes ago. I wonder if Astro was on any one of them.
He sure was, Tom.
Huh? Astro!
In the flesh.
Well, blast me to space dust if it isn't the old Venusian grease monkey. Astro, are we glad to see you?
Hey, stop it. Cut it out. Quit it, fellas. Wow. Some way to greet an old pal.
We've missed it.
Just a little homecoming.
Yeah, we sure did, you big ox.
Big what?
Hey, put me down. Stop squeezing me. You're killing your best friend.
Just glad to see you, Roger.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Well, what have you fellas been doing? Besides changing the radar frequency to talk to the girls back home?
Huh? How did you know?
The whole academy knows. Wait till you get back. You're in for it.
No, I don't want to go back.
I don't see how you're still in one piece, Roger. I thought sure Captain Strong would have cut you into little pieces for that trick. Hey, where is he anyway?
Don't you know?
Huh? Know what?
He's in trouble, Astro. Loring escaped.
Craters of Luna, how did that happen?
Loring slugged the skipper and beat it out of the rocket scout in a jet boat. And if he isn't found, Captain Strong's liable to be busted.
Uh-oh, he is in for it.
Blast it, there ought to be something we can do.
Sure.
If we were in trouble, Captain Strong wouldn't hesitate to help us.
You're right. He helped me with that radar routine.
We don't even know where Loring is.
Well, he escaped in a jet boat, and he can't get very far in that.
Well, Captain Strong said he might try to get to Venus.
Astro,
Yeah?
where would you go if all you had was a jet boat, and you wanted to hide where no one would find you?
Gee, I don't know.
Isn't there any place on that jungle-infested planet that
That's it, sure.
What?
The jungle. Why, I used to hunt there when I was a kid. Boy, it's plenty wild.
Good place for you.
Oh, cut it out, Roger. This is serious. Go on, Astro.
Well, the jungle's right on the equator. Stretches for thousands of miles all around the planet. I used to hitch rides on jets hauling freight and supplies down to the mining camps. And I went out into the jungle to hunt dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs? Are you kidding? They went out of style on Earth millions of years ago.
Maybe on Earth, but there are plenty of them on Venus. Dinosaurs, giant lizards, pterodactyls, everything.
Nice, friendly place.
Could a man hide there?
And how? Besides the jungle itself, there are plenty of old, worked-out mines. If Loring went there, you'll never find him unless he wants you to.
And Loring isn't coming out unless he's forced.
Well, we're not doing any good sitting here and gassing. Let's go.
No, Roger. We got into enough trouble around here. Astro and I will take a jet boat, and if we're lucky, we can be back here before anyone misses us. How about it, Astro?
Fine by me.
Hey, you're not leaving me out of this.
You're staying, Roger. If I have to tie your legs with your arms and stuff your hands and feet in your mouth.
Why, you overgrown hunk.
What?
Okay, I'll stay. You don't have to get tough about it.
Well, that takes care of Space Boy, Tom. So let's go.
Right. We'll find Loring if we have to turn Venus inside out.
Make sure he doesn't find you first.
If he does, it'll be a relief not seeing your ugly puss again. Let's blast, Tom.
Right behind you, Astro.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah, what now, Roger?
Nothing. Just spaceman's luck.
That's the way it happened, Manning. When I talked to Corbett on the teleceiver, Loring slipped up behind me and slugged me with an acceleration lever. When I came to, well, he'd escaped.
He was taking a chance going out in a jet boat, Captain Strong.
What did he have to lose? Unlucky he didn't try to kill me.
Will there be an investigation of his escape, sir?
Investigation?
Well, sir, Loring was in your custody, and...
It won't look very nice on my service record, but Commander Arkwright is giving me every chance to redeem myself. He made me leader of the search squadron.
You have a whole squadron searching for Loring?
Why, the entire Solar Guard is searching for him. He's a criminal, Manning, and dangerous. I'm in command of 7 rocket destroyers sweeping space between Mars and Earth.
Jumping Jupiter. And Tom and Astro just went after him in a jet boat.
They what?
Yes, sir, when we found out what's on you, so Astro and Tom blasted off in a jet boat to go looking for him in the Venusian jungle.
Why, those little idiots.
They only wanted to help you, Captain Strong.
Oh, yes, of course. I appreciate what they're trying to do and why they're doing it. But Loring is a desperate man, and he won't hesitate to kill if he has to.
Well, Tom and Astro can take care of themselves, sir.
I'm sure they can, but we've got to make sure. Get your gear, Manning. We're blasting off. We've got to find Tom and Astro before Loring does.
Well, we've been searching for nearly 2 hours, Astro, and no sign of him. Our fuel's about gone.
I guess we'd better start back. Useless to keep looking for him in this place. We'll never find him.
Well, here we go, then.
Hey, wait a minute, Tom. Look, over there.
Huh? What?
To starboard, down by that abandoned mine shaft. See, there's a shack in
right beside it is a jet boat. Hang on. We're going in for a closer look. This is Loring's jet boat, all right, Astro. There's the ID number on the stabilizer, 7J4.
But now, where's Loring?
Well, I don't think he would have gone too far from the boat.
Hey, suppose he spots our boat, Tom. It'll tip him off that we're after him.
You'll find out sooner or later. Besides, I hope he does. It might scare him into blasting off in this boat. Then we don't have to chase him through the jungle. We can wait here for him.
Oh, I'd feel a lot better if I had a paralo ray gun.
We won't need it if we can surprise him. Come on. Let's hide right in the jet boat.
Stop
Then we'll
us, honey boy.
Great enemy ghost. Loring, hiding in the boat all the time.
Yeah, that's right. Getting a bang out of all your big talk about capturing me.
It isn't talk, Loring.
No, Buster, I'll freeze you.
Try it. Astro, look out.
You asked for it.
Astro!
Makes a real pretty statue, don't he? You want some of the same, Buster?
All right, Loring. You win. But neutralize the parallel ray. Let Astro go.
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, you're going to join him in the deep freeze. You two make nice pickings for the animal life around here. Like that one, for instance. It's a Tyrannosaurus, a real killer. And he's been prowling around here, so I guess he's hungry.
Hey, now wait a minute.
He must have picked up your scent. All right, Buster, get set. In a few minutes, you and that man-eater are gonna get real chummy.
Looks like a big, exciting adventure is coming up for the Space Cadets. And here's a big, exciting announcement for Mom. Did you call her to the radio? Swell. Mother, have you sent for your baking set? The wonderful 10-piece baking set Kellogg's is offering? It's an amazing bargain, too good to pass up. Just listen to all you get. A new kind of mixing bowl holds a generous 5 cups, 4 standard measuring spoons, 4 cookie cutters, a handy bowl scraper, and beater combined. And each piece sparkles and gleams with color. Cheery reds, sunny yellows, brilliant greens. There's such cheerful, gay colors to have around your kitchen. And wait till you see the bowl, made of a new kind of plastic that's absolutely unbreakable. You can even wash it in hottest water. The cookie cutters are different, too. They're real clever. Shaped like hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades with such keen, sharp edges. And what a bowl scraper. The curved edge makes it extra handy. And listen, all 10 pieces are yours for less than you'd pay for the bowl alone. Just send 50 cents and the top from any 2 boxes of Kellogg's Corn Flakes to Kellogg's, Box 926, Toronto, Ontario. That's 2 Kellogg's Corn Flakes box tops and 50 cents. Send to Kellogg's, Box 926, Toronto. But hurry, send for yours today.
As the roar of the deadly Tyrannosaurus, a prehistoric monster that existed on Earth millions of years ago and still lives on Venus, roars through the jungle, Loring, the escaped criminal, raises his parallel ray and aims at Tom, who stands helplessly beside the already paralyzed body of his friend, Astro.
Here he comes, Junior. Less than 100 yards away. I'm going to leave you two for him.
No, Loring, you can't. It's murder.
What do I care? So long, Buster. I'll watch the party from my jet boat upstairs. Have a good time.
Loring, wait. No, Loring!
And that takes care of both of you.
It's no use, Captain Strong. We've searched every inch of the jungle for 1,000 miles around. We've got to go back to Venusport and refuel.
Well, I'm afraid you're right, Manning. Although I hate to think of Tom and Astro alone down there with night coming on.
Yeah, with all those monsters you were telling me about. Hey, look down there. Isn't that one of them?
Mm-hmm. Certainly is. A Tyrannosaurus, the deadliest of the lot.
What in blazes, Skipper? Look, right behind the whatever you call it. A jet boat trying to blast off.
Manning, it's the boat from the rocket scout.
The one Loring took?
Yes. Hang on, we're going after it.
Too late, Skipper. Look, that monster reached up and grabbed it.
Great Jupiter. Oh, he's tearing the boat apart.
Skipper, you don't think maybe Tom and Astro were in it?
No. No, look. One man. In civilian clothes.
Then it's Loring?
It was Loring.
Oh, brother.
And there goes the monster, back into the jungle.
That was pretty awful.
Hey, wait a minute. Look down there, Manning. By that old mine shaft. Isn't that Tom?
And Astro. Yeah, I'd know that Venusian rocket head anywhere. But they're just standing there. They aren't moving. What's the matter with them?
Hang on. We're going down to find out.
Skipper, you don't know how awful it felt. seeing your jet boat and not being able to wave or anything.
This was the first time I was ever hit with a parallel ray, and I don't ever want to go through it again.
It didn't do you any harm, Astro. You're good as new.
I don't know, Roger. I still can't believe Tom and I weren't the main course on that monster's menu.
Well, what happened here anyway, boys?
Oh, we walked ourselves right into a trap, Captain Strong. And Loring froze us and left us for that Tyrannosaurus.
But how come it got him?
He made a mistake. By freezing us, we couldn't move. Couldn't run or anything. But he moved. Ran into his jet boat. And when the monster came through the trees, well, he was attracted by the movement.
I see. And it ignored you to go after Loring.
That's it, sir.
Sure did a job on that jet boat. I hate to think of what it could have done to us.
So, well, it wouldn't have touched you anyway, Astro.
Oh, no?
Nah, with that tough Venusian hide of yours, you would have given him a first-class stomachache.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when the boys are given weekend liberty and Tom is shanghaied aboard the Deep Spacer. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Corn Flakes, the cereal that helps you have more punch till lunch.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, also appears in the comic sections of many of Canada's leading newspapers. Look for a daily and in weekend edition. Featured in the cast are Al Markham as Astro, Jan Merlin as Roger Manning, and Edward Bryce as Captain Strong. Today's program was directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Say, like to make breakfast more fun, have a different cereal every morning? Then ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety Pack. You see, Kellogg's Variety Pack is an assortment of all favorite cereals. 10 individual-sized packages in one handy carton. With Kellogg's Variety on the table, you can pick and choose to your heart's content from such favorites as Kellogg's Corn Flakes, Pep, Rice Krispies, Kellogg's Raisin Bran, and others. Remember, each of the 10 individual packages in Kellogg's Variety Pack is a generous serving. You choose and open your own package yourself. And because each package contains exactly one bowl full, the cereals stay extra crisp and fresh. So just for fun, make breakfast fun. Ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety Pack.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. You are drifting along the muddy reaches of a South American river. Your diving gear in readiness, the air pump going. Yet you know that in the murky depths below you, waiting in the slime there for you, is a mortal enemy from whom there may be no escape.
Listen now as Escape brings you Tony Barrett's story, Bloodwaters.
They take you up slowly, always slowly, even in a nothing job like this one. A harbor bottom dive that a beginner would laugh at. kicked away from the heavy pilings harder than I had to. And I knew I was trying to dull my mind again, not to think about it. Trying to sell myself the same old story. That a diver shouldn't care where he works because the job's always the same. There's something down there. They want it. You get it, period. But it didn't work too well. The story was wearing thin.
There you are, Senor. You want the suit off, or you want to rest first, huh?
Rest from what? A 50-foot dive? Get me out of the suit.
See.
Perhaps the man knows best, Trent.
Murdoch.
A 50-foot dive can be dangerous. But then danger never bothered you, did it?
What are you doing here, Murdoch? What do you want?
Does an old friend have to want something?
I'm not interested in any of your deals.
Really? With this job finished and nothing else in sight?
I'm busy, Murdoch. Beat it.
No curiosity, Trent? Not so much as a... What are you doing in a forsaken hole in Argentina? You never were much at small talk, were you?
Goodbye, Murdoch.
Wait a minute.
Take your hand off me.
Why the rush? Where are you going?
You know it all. You tell me.
All right. I will. What you do between now and tonight does not matter. But at 9 o'clock, I shall expect you at the Café del Rondo, promptly.
And if I don't come?
Can you afford not to come, Trent? It still takes money to live, even down here. I will see you at 9 o'clock.
You've been talking for an hour now, Murdoch, and you haven't said anything. Get to it.
You have no social graces. Pity. Trent, how would you like never to have to get into diving gear again? To be rich, really rich. To have everything you ever wanted.
I had everything I wanted once. You remember that, don't you, Murdoch?
How long have you been away from the States, Trent?
What's that got to do with it?
How long?
3 years. 3 stinking years.
And don't you want to go back?
No, I like working jungle holes like this. I like 50-foot dockside dives with native boys that fall asleep on the pumps while you're down there. What are you building?
Fortune for both of us.
What do you want this time? My right eye?
Can't you forget what happened?
Can you?
You're being stupid.
You're out of your territory down here, Murdoch, so talk nice to me.
Look, Trent, in 2 months, we can both walk out of here with more money than you ever dreamed of.
I don't dream anymore.
Gold, Trent. If I told you how much, you would think me mad.
You want to give me half?
You will earn it.
By diving?
Yes. Did I say something humorous?
So you fell for the national industry. Don't you know there's a peddler on every corner down here selling maps of sunken treasure? I love that. The smooth Vincent Murdoch is a tourist.
And now, do you want to hear what I have to say?
Say your piece.
Did you ever hear of the Gran Chacos Rebellion?
Sorry, I'm late, Senor.
Ah, Maria, my dear. May I present Senor Trent Paul? This is Maria Sandoval.
Senorita?
Senor?
Sit down, Maria. Something to drink?
No, gracias.
You said something about a rebellion.
40 years ago, to be exact. Bolivia and Paraguay were at each other's throats. It's in the history books.
I didn't know you were a reader, Murdoch.
The Paraguayans were getting the worst of it. So they loaded a small boat, the Santa Rosa, with millions in gold for shipping up the Paraguay River. It was to go to Brazil for safekeeping.
Well?
After the boat left Puerto Pinasco, it was never seen again. Nor was the gold.
It's true, Senor.
Storm?
They never even found survivors. Besides, where would they look? Have you any idea of the length of the Paraguay River?
2 governments can't find the gold, but you can.
That is correct. I can.
What do you got?
Charts? Better than that.
What then?
I said before that they never found survivors. I did. The only one. Interested, Trent?
I don't want any part of you, Murdoch. Now or any time, so get off my back.
Don't you realize what I'm offering you?
I understand this. It's over. I'm through with you and your schemes, and I'm not running anymore. Get that through your head, you fat slut.
You listen to me.
3 years ago, I listened to you. 3 years down in this sinkhole is what I got for it. 3 years, you foul, filthy pig.
I'm going to cut you a new throat. Don't stop it.
I don't know how long it lasted. How many times I hit him trying to pay him back for the lonely years. But finally it was over. Finished. And I was back at the waterfront again, tasting the soft breeze coming in from the sea.
Senor? Senor Trent.
What do you want? Oh. Maria, isn't it?
Si. Maria.
I'm sorry if I messed up your friend Murdoch.
He's all right now. Besides, I have seen men fight before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. You always follow the winner?
Anger forces words the tongue does not want to say.
My name is Trent, not Murdoch. Plain enough.
I know your name, Senor. Oh, there is a scratch on your cheek, Senor. A little blood. Let me... A woman knows how. Senor. Senor.
Is that the way you kiss Murdoch?
Your eyes, Paulito. The anger is still there.
And it shouldn't be, not after that, huh?
Paulito.
Who are you really kissing, Maria, me or him? What do you want, the gold, Murdoch? Everybody wants something. What's yours?
I want you to come with me, Senor.
No more Paulito, huh?
Please, come with me, please. I'll show you what I want.
She turned and moved away without ever once looking back, as though she was sure I'd follow her. And she was right. The shack she led me to was less than a half-mile away, no different than any of the others around it. She turned to look at me once as she opened the door, and her eyes were 1,000 years old. She lit a lamp, and I looked where she was pointing. He lay on a bed in the corner, a little Portuguese, maybe 50, cackling softly to himself as though he knew a joke that nobody else would ever know. His hair was pure white, the kind that comes from too much terror, too much shock. And then I saw his hands. From fingertips to elbows, they were a mass of little scars, ugly, needle-like scars that spoke of some past moment of horror. We moved closer, but he never looked up. Just sat crooning softly to a bottle of whiskey cradled in his arms. Maria? Who is he?
Have you never seen a man who has lost his mind to fear? Look well, for he is such a one. Pobrecito. Estoy aquí, todo es bueno. Estoy aquí, pobrecito. Have you seen enough, Senor?
Is he
My father. What is left of him?
How did it happen, Maria?
You have already been told.
What?
Murdoch spoke truth tonight when he told of his survivor from the Santa Rosa. There he is.
Later, as we staring out at the water, she told me all of it. And it wasn't hard to follow. An old man, driven insane by terror, who clung to Murdoch because Murdoch kept him in whiskey, the one thing that pushed the terror away for a while. Very neat and tidy, the Murdoch touch.
You understand now, Paulito?
Yeah. What do you want me to do, Maria? Make the trip with Murdoch as his diver? Is that what you want?
My father is a child now. Murdoch will lose him and then... Oh.
That's all you wanted from the beginning, isn't it? For me to be a watchdog.
He is my father, Paulito.
Yeah. I never asked. You going along?
Si, I go.
All right, Maria. I'll dive for Murdoch.
Oh, gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
It's all right.
Paulito, kiss me, please.
Gratitude for your father?
No, not this time, querido. This time, for me.
Murdoch was all sweetness and light next morning when I told him he had a diver. You'd have sworn we were old buddies. He balked at only one thing, my wanting to take along Jose, the kid who'd handled pumps for me on the harbor job. But I wasn't about to do any diving without somebody I trusted handling lines. Murdoch didn't like it, but he couldn't afford to argue. Jose turned out to be a real good investment before we ever got started. That night, as a matter of fact.
Anyone?
Oh, you finish up, Jose?
Si. All finished, Senor.
You watch him crate the gear?
I did it myself.
I should have known. Thanks.
Senor, how well you know this Senor Murdoch?
Too well. Why? Well, come on, Jose. What is it?
While I was taking care of the gear, he was getting the permisos. How you say?
Permits? Government permits for the interior?
Si. You supposed to name all the people that go.
I know that. What about it?
I saw the papers, Senor.
Well?
It's every name there except yours.
I see.
But why? Why does he do a thing like that, Senor? What reason?
To save explain later.
Okay.
Murdoch's got it all figured out, Jose.
I still do not understand. Why are you not on that list?
It's real simple. A man who doesn't make a trip can't be expected to come back from it.
You are listening to Bloodwaters, tonight's presentation of Escape. Millions in Asia living on inadequate diets and additional millions in free Europe fighting for post-war recovery are the beneficiaries when you give to CARE, C-A-R-E. Send a $10 CARE package or the $6.95 budget package. For further details, write CARE, New York. That's CARE, New York. And now, Escape, and the second act of Bloodwaters.
It's a thing you gotta see to believe. A thing that exists every foot of the length of Argentina. Get a couple of hours inland from the coast and you've gone back 1,000 years. Nothing but jungle. Jungle so thick and green you can travel a full day without ever once getting a glimpse of sunlight. It's bad enough any way you try it, but doing it Murdoch's way was the worst. Murdoch, a gold-hungry, penny-pinching man who hadn't hired enough bearers, who skimped on food, and who hated every minute wasted on wreck. Maria took it well, quiet for the most part, her eyes never far from Sandoval. The old man was pathetic, shambling along, falling often, uncaring and never hearing. There was only one sound that mattered in his world, the cork coming out of the bottle. And Murdoch was master of the bottle. 4 days of it, 4 stinking, crawling days. And on the morning of the 5th, we came out of it. Stood there, looking out at the Paraguay River. The gold was showing in Murdoch's eyes again.
Look at it, Trent. Beautiful, isn't it?
It's a river. That's all it is. It's been a long walk. Where to now?
3 days upriver. Do you have any objections?
You're footing the bill.
And you should remember that. You check our supplies while I make arrangements for the boat.
Don't you want me to take a look at the boat before you make a deal? Make sure you get a good winch?
You have a short memory, Trent. I'd say I'm fairly capable of making deals, wouldn't you? You just make sure the bearers don't steal anything when they leave.
I take care of that for you, Senor. Thanks, Jose. Oh, and keep an eye on the old man, eh?
Sí, Senor.
Ole, hombre. Ven aquí.
Paulito.
Maria, you all right?
Sí. Oh, I'm so grateful to you, querido.
For what?
For everything. Everything. Paulito, you take care with Murdoch. He's a dangerous man.
Yeah. Now listen to me. From here on, it's going to be different.
Different?
We'll all be on a small boat for days, maybe weeks. I won't always be around because of the diving. Here, take the gun. Just take it. And hope you don't have to use it. A couple of hours later, Murdoch came back and waved us down to the river. Instead of being alone, now he had a native with him. A big man he called Batu. A lot of man. Even through the paint on his face, you could see the combination of Mayan and Inca. The 1,000-year-old dignity as he stood looking at us.
Trent, this is Batu. I've just arranged for the boat, and he's going upriver with us. Go help with the loading, Batu.
Batu, help.
What are we taking him for, Murdoch?
He wants to go upriver to his people, and he will work for his passage. We can use him.
You keep adding people, somebody's going to have to swim alongside. That ain't much of a boat.
Now, Trent, this is no time to be at each other's throats. I know we are on the right track. Sandoval started getting excited the moment he saw this part of the river.
For a guy in his condition, you're doing a lot of depending on him.
You let me worry about that. All you have to do is handle your end of things, and that won't begin until we start diving.
You're wrong, Murdoch. I started worrying 3 years ago, remember? Two days on the river. 2 long days with Murdoch never once taking his eyes off Sandoval. Watching each slightest reaction. The bottle always ready. And the old man needed that bottle now. His terror growing by the minute. And Murdoch loving it because it told him we were getting closer. That night, I was laying out my gear back in the stern when Batu, the big native, came toward me. He wasn't the calm giant anymore, just a man, a terrified man with words tumbling out of his mouth.
You tell Batu. You tell.
Tell you what?
About crazy man.
Crazy? Sandoval? Well, what about him?
Hands.
The scars? You mean how did he get them?
Yes.
I don't know what happened to his hands, but what about him?
Why you come here?
To dive. To bring something up from the water. Why?
No. Not go in water. No.
Why not? What's wrong?
Not go. Devil water. Devil water. You not go in devil water.
And that's all I could get out of him. Just that. It was a long time before I got to sleep that night. Late on the 3rd day, we dropped anchor just outside a small cove. Murdoch was out of his mind with excitement. But it was too dark for diving. We'd start in the morning. Batu wanted to go ashore to see his people. Swore he'd be back before sunup. Murdoch didn't like it, but he had no choice. We needed the big man on pumps. In the morning, we were up at dawn, and Batu was back aboard. He didn't say much, but he was never more than a couple of feet away from me, and his eyes never left me. But I didn't have time to think about it. I had my own troubles.
What's taking you so long, Fred?
Oh, you and your penny pinching. You've been had, Murdoch.
Well, what's wrong?
Well, not a thing, except this winch is on its last leg.
Well, let's not argue. Repair it the best you can.
Talk cheap, but I'm the guy who goes down there.
Listen to me, Trent. We're close, really close. Sandoval swears it's right beneath us. He has to be right. He's pointed out landmarks all the way.
Wait a minute. What's that?
It's native drums, Senor.
Probably welcome. Get that chute closed, Trent. We're losing time.
You remember what I say about clear lines down there, Senor? Huh?
I'll remember.
And don't you forget. Look, Senor. Look on the shore.
Natives, 6 or 7 of them.
He's part of Batu's tribe.
What's that they're carrying? It looks like a pig or a goat.
And their throat is cut.
What is it, Batu? What are they doing?
Make sacrifice to river god.
But why now?
Save you.
From what? What's down there? A native superstition, Trent. Where's your intelligence? Are you ready? Batu?
You not stay in water long. Cadet!
On the beach, they heard his command, and the pig was thrown into the river. A moment later, Jose had bolted my helmet in place, and I was being lowered over the side of the boat. Everything was forgotten now. The work of staying alive. That's how it is with diving. You can do it 1,000 times, but it's always new. Jose knew it. Through the phone, I could hear him worrying with me.
You all right, Senor?
Yeah. Read me.
See? 11 fathoms.
Stay with me. I'm going to have a look around. I checked my lines and started toward a large mass of shadow. Distances underwater fool you. I was on it almost before I started. It was a ship, or what was left of one. Her back had been broken in two, and her stern was right in front of me. I read it aloud. Santa Rosa.
What's that, Senor?
I found it. Start a line down.
He's found it. You hear? He's found it.
I went in carefully, slowly, making sure of my lines. It didn't take me 20 minutes to find it. A tremendous iron-bound chest. I scratched the slime off with my knife, and there it was. The official seal of Paraguay. There wasn't any doubt now what was inside. I got a line around it, told them which way to swing the winch, and managed to get it out in the clear for the trip up. I just about finished when I felt a signal on my line. What is it?
Batu says to get up here quick. You've been down too long.
Why?
Friend, this is Murdoch. Let's get the gold up first. Another moment won't hurt you. Let's not take chances on a foul line.
Let's not take chances on me. Tell Jose to take me up.
If he tries it, I shall shoot him. The gold comes up first. Stand clear, French.
Murdoch, listen. My knife is across the line. You turn that winch and I'll cut the line. You hear me?
You're insane. I could cut your air holes.
Go on, cut it. I'm tired of living with you on my back anyway.
Oh, all right, Trent, all right. Now, don't get excited. We're taking you up.
Slowly, they began taking me up. And then I realized why. Murdoch knew once I started up, I couldn't possibly cut the line that held the chest. He took me up just far enough to get my hands on the bottom rung of the Jacob's ladder and hang there helplessly. Then, through the phones, I could hear the creak of the winch as he started hauling up the chest. Looking up through the water, I could see Murdoch leaning over the rail as he waited for the chest to break water. And then it happened. A sudden sharp sting on my hand. And when I looked, I saw blood. Blood and a 6-inch fish racing in for another bite. In a second, there were more of them. Little needle-toothed devils plunging at the canvas suit, even trying to bite through the steel of the helmet to get at the flesh inside. And at last I understood everything. Why Batu called it devil water. Why Sandoval had gone insane. And what happened to the crew of the Santa Rosa. That 6-inch fish was the South American piranha, a cannibal so deadly it strips a man to the bone in 30 seconds. Then I heard something else. The winch. Murdoch had been driving it too fast, even for a good winch. It started to crumple just as the chest broke water. Murdoch saw the chest inches from his hand start slipping back. And the thought of losing the gold drove him crazy. He grabbed for it. Even as the chest pulled him down past me, he was still holding on to it. Even as the piranha left me to strip easier pickings than steel and canvas, he held on to it, and I knew he'd never let go. How could he? Hadn't the gold pulled him halfway around the world, and then climbed out of the water to get him?
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Bloodwaters by Tony Barrett, starring Vic Perrin. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Lillian Buyeff, Tony Barrett, and Barney Phillips. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are one of 4 people trapped in an isolated trading post somewhere in the Yukon Territory. The blizzard outside making escape impossible. And you know that before the spring thaws release you, before you can leave this cabin behind you, one of your companions, by consent of the others, will be killed.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Judgment Day at Crippled Deer. Every weekday for 90 solid minutes, Arthur Godfrey Time presents that redhead himself, coming up with one surprise after another. And every Friday night on most of these same CBS radio stations, we take the top surprises, the best songs, the biggest laughs out of the daytime shows, and group them together into a big once-a-week treat. Tomorrow night, don't miss the Arthur Godfrey Digest at the Star's address. Daytime is a gay time with Arthur Godfrey Time on the CBS Radio Network.
Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have been locked in a building by 2 criminals who have blocked their only means of escape by pouring sodium-potassium alloy on the stairs. The liquid metal has burst into flame on contact with the air.
Commander, the heat's terrible. We're going to face something worse than heat when the automatic fire extinguishing system starts to work. But, sir, the water will put the fire out and we can escape. Not with this alloy, Happy. It burns in air, but when water hits it, it explodes. What? The second that spray starts working, this whole building will be blown to bits.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Lady from Venus. Space Patroller Dick Tufeld, gang, speaking to you from an atomic power plant on Mars. They're having trouble getting power, but I think I found the trouble. Now, listen to this main power generator. Sounds pretty weak, doesn't it? My guess is this. They've been using ordinary fuel. So let's see what happens when I put in this super fuel. Wow, listen to that power now. Supercharging does it. And, gang, when you roll out of bed in the morning, you're just like this generator. You need fuel because you haven't had any for about 12 hours. But listen, don't settle for ordinary fuel. Get supercharged like Buzz Corey does with a good breakfast. Eat the super cereals in the checkerboard packages. Now, Rice Chex and Wheat Chex are the super cereals with that modern bite-sized design for super easy eating. Rice Chex is bite-sized shredded rice, triple toasted. And Wheat Chex is bite-sized shredded wheat, baked crisper than a cracker. Super power in every bite. Now, remember, pulling up to the breakfast table is like pulling into a filling station. So get supercharged every morning. Pick up your cereal bowl and say,
"Fill out, Mom. Wheat Chex."
Fill up, Mom. Rice checks.
In Commander Corey's central office on Terra, a tall, middle-aged man anxiously paces the floor while Cadet Happy checks the Space Patrol search mission reports.
There are some magazines on the table, Mr. Stratton.
Beg pardon?
I said if you want to read, there are some magazines.
Oh, no, thank you, Cadet. Is that clock correct?
Yes, it is, Mr. Stratton.
Are you sure?
It's a uranium clock, sir. It gives the correct universal star time within a millionth of a second.
Commander Corey did say 10:30, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
It's 10:40 now.
Oh, here's the commander now.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Stratton.
Oh, that's all right, Commander.
The Secretary General and the staff have gone over your application and the reports of the Commission.
Yes?
It's been approved. You can go ahead with that atomic power plant.
Oh, splendid.
These papers authorize you to obtain fissionable materials for your atomic breeder reactor.
Thank you.
I suppose you're blasting off to Venus right away and get your plan into operation.
Oh, I have a few matters to clear up first in my Terra office. Goodbye, Commander. And, Cadet, thank you for your courtesy.
Well, that's all right, Mr. Stratton. Goodbye.
Congratulations, Mr. Stratton.
Oh? What can I do for you?
Why, Mr. Stratton, you don't recognize me.
Why, Miss Bennett, forgive me, but you look so different.
Don't tell me I've aged that much in 5 years.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's
I'm a blonde now instead of a brunette.
Oh, yes, that's it, of course, your hair.
And I dress more expensively than I did when I worked for you.
I always thought you dressed very nicely, Miss Bennett.
Why so formal, Edward? On Mars, you used to call me Elspeth, the lady from Venus.
What are you doing now, Elspeth?
Oh, that's better. Well, right now I'm in the manufacturing business on my own.
Well, we're competitors, eh?
No, not entirely, Edward. In fact, I'm actually interested in becoming one of your customers.
Splendid. We parted on very unpleasant terms, as I recall. I'm glad you're willing to let bygones be bygones.
Yes, and I was delighted to hear that the Secretary General gave you the go-ahead for your reactor on Venus.
Why, I just came from Space Patrol headquarters myself. How did you know about it so soon?
Oh, I know a lot of things about you, Edward. I was one of the people questioned by the Space Patrol security agent.
Evidently, your replies were favorable. Thank you.
How soon will your plant be in operation?
It'll take 3 weeks to get into active production.
Good, then I can count on you for a shipment of plutonium in less than a month. Oh, I'm not joking, Edward. I'm ready to pay you a fair amount of credits for a small percentage of your plutonium output.
You have a United Planets authorization to buy it?
Oh, no. That's why I have to get it from you.
But I can't sell it to you. I can sell you power, but not plutonium or other fissionable materials. It's illegal.
Stratton, how long do you think you'd be permitted to operate that plant if I should go to Space Patrol with certain evidence? Evidence of those shady deals on Mars 5 years ago?
You know I had nothing to do with those. You engineered them behind my back.
Yes, but the evidence I have still points to you, not to me. I've been keeping it, Edward, for just such an opportunity as this.
You know I've got to account for every ounce of plutonium.
Surely you can find some way to get around the regulations. You want to keep that plant, don't you?
That's blackmail, Elspeth.
Blackmail? When I'm paying you for the plutonium? Well, that's unfair.
I never thought you'd stoop to anything like this.
You'll send the plutonium to the Elbin Company on Mars. There's a fake company I've organized to receive certain illegal materials.
So you're operating on Mars?
No. I just want to be sure the plutonium's hard to trace. For your protection as well as mine. I'm still the lady from Venus. So I'll see you in a month. Remember, I'll be expecting my shipment in a month. Goodbye for now, Ed.
You know what I'm going to do when we get to Lake Azure, Commander?
What, Happy?
I'm going to go for a swim, and then I'm going to the club and have a steak that thick. And
Wait a minute, Happy. There's one thing I forgot to tell you when we blasted off from Terra.
What's that, sir?
Officially, this is a pleasure trip. Unofficially, we're on official duty.
Huh? I'm all confused.
You remember the man Stratton who was in my office about a month ago? The fellow who was authorized to operate an atomic reactor plant on Venus?
Yes, sir. I remember Mr. Stratton. He ought to be producing by now.
He's in some sort of trouble. We're going to Lake Azure and see if we can clear it up.
What kind of trouble?
Well, he's afraid to tell me by spaceophone, so I arranged to visit him at his cottage on the north shore of the lake.
Oh, then the swim and the steak are out.
Until after we talk to Mr. Stratton. Then we'll see about the swim and steaks. Because in the long run, I want to be sure that everybody thinks we're visiting Venus for pleasure.
Just a minute. Oh, Elspeth.
Yes, Edward. I heard you were resting here at Lake Azure after getting your plant into operation, so I thought I'd pay you a visit. Well, aren't you going to ask us in? Mr. Stratton, this is my assistant, Ivan Almond.
How do you do?
Hello.
Shake hands with him, Edward, or Ivan will think you don't like him. He's very sensitive.
Yeah. Shake, huh?
Easy, Ivan. Mr. Stratton will probably need his right hand to correct a little mistake he made.
Mistake?
Yes. One of our representatives inside your plant informed us that you shipped a crate to the Elben Company on Mars yesterday.
That's right. I did. I followed your instructions.
Yeah, except you didn't put plutonium in the crate.
What a waste of time and money it would be for us to pick up that crate of worthless metal and haul it back to Venus.
Worthless metal?
Yes. So I brought Ivan with me to persuade you to correct this oversight.
You like me to work him over, Miss Bennett?
Well, that's up to Mr. Stratton.
Yes, I'll correct the oversight.
Good. But the next time you make a mistake, Ivan will work you over, as he calls it. And I'll turn my evidence over to the Space Patrol.
It won't happen again.
See that it doesn't. Come on, Ivan.
All right, Miss Bennett.
All right, Ivan. Let's get back with our water cruiser.
Miss Bennett, look. There is another water cruiser pulling out to Stratton's wharf.
Yes, men in uniform. Quick, get over behind those bushes before they see us.
From here, they look like space patrolmen.
Exactly what they are. It's lucky we beached our cruiser down at the cove.
What are they coming here for?
We're going to find out. Get in the bushes. We can watch from here.
Hadn't we better get to the cruiser and shove off?
Wait, Ivan. The tall one's Commander Corey.
Yeah. I heard at the hotel that he was due in today for a rest. That Space Patrol High Brass has it pretty soft.
If he's here for a rest, why would he come directly to see Stratton? It looks very suspicious to me. If he's double-crossed...
They are on the wharf now. Let's get going.
No. Wait till they get in the house. Then we'll slip up and see if we can hear what's going on.
Oh, Mr. Stratton, we didn't see anybody.
And there was no boat at the wharf.
Well, they must have come here in a surface car, then.
They could have, all right, along the Lakeshore Road.
Who were these people?
Elspeth Bennett and a man named Ivan Almond. They're the reason I asked you to come here. They're trying to force me to sell them plutonium illegally.
I see.
One of their spies in my plant found out about a fake shipment I tried to trick them with, so they came here to threaten me.
Threaten you? With violence, you mean?
Yes, and... Well, Commander, I'm going to tell you the whole story. It may mean that the government might take my license away, but I'll not be blackmailed into committing a crime.
Blackmail? How could they? Your record's clean.
Well, let me give you the facts. This Elspeth Bennett worked for me 5 years ago on Mars. Without my knowledge, she put over several very dishonest deals. And here's exactly what she did. In order to make it look as though I were responsible, she faked a series of offers.
Fool, he's blabbing the whole story.
Maybe Corey will not believe him, huh?
Space Patrol will investigate us, and we can't afford that. At any rate, we can't get any plutonium from Stratton now.
Let's get out of here before Corey comes out.
If Corey finds our plant, we're finished. Ivan, we've got to take care of Corey, the Cadet, and Stratton.
I can't handle all three of them. They are armed.
I'll fix it so you can take the Space Patrolman by surprise. You wait in the bushes near the lakeshore. I'll pretend to be in trouble. While they're rescuing me, you can jump out and overpower them.
You know, Commander, somehow I think Mr. Stratton was telling the truth about being framed.
Well, so do I, Happy. If he weren't fairly honest, he could have sold radioactive materials illegally. Yet he's willing to risk losing his plant.
Help! Help!
Commander, listen.
It's a woman. She's fallen into the lake. Come on, Happy.
Save me, I can't swim.
We're coming, lady. Here, I'll jump in, sir.
Oh, wait, Happy. She isn't far out. Grab the end of this stick. That's it. Get a good grip. You're going to be all right. Just hang on. We'll pull you in.
Oh, thank goodness you heard me calling.
I've got her, sir.
Watch the edge of the bank, Happy. It's not very solid.
That's how I fell in.
Here, I'll give you a hand, Happy. We'll have you out in just a second.
Oh, I didn't realize the water was so deep, so close to the shore.
There you are. Now, don't try to get up for a while. Just rest.
And you rest too, Corbett! Hey, what's the big idea?
I got them both, Miss Bennett, just like you said.
Well, there's no time for gloating, Ivan. Go in the house, get Stratton and bring him out here.
Maybe I better finish Corey and the cadet now.
Give Stratton a chance to get away? No. Somebody's going to find 3 bodies here by the lake. Corey, the cadet, and Stratton. And they'll find the evidence against Stratton in Corey's pocket.
Yeah, but the evidence is fake.
Well, of course it is, but no one will suspect it. It'll be obvious to everyone that Stratton did away with him to keep from being exposed.
How are you going to explain Stratton?
Why, Corey wounded him in the fight. Now, get Stratton.
Suppose the cadet come too while I'm gone.
Either one of them moves, this heavy stick will take care of them.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, gang, what do you need for a good morning and a good start? A nourishing breakfast with rice checks or wheat checks. That's what. The super cereals that help to supercharge you. Here's a chance to show you exactly what I mean. Some of the fellas here in the neighborhood are having a race. They're running right in this direction, and way out in front is Jim Bridwell, a boy that makes it a rule to eat a good breakfast with the super cereals. Listen, here they come. And let me tell you, Jim is going to win because he's supercharged.
I won!
There, Jim did win, which just goes to show you that to be a winner, you have to eat a winner's breakfast. So latch on quick, gang, to Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the super cereals that help to supercharge you.
Hi, Space Patrol.
Hi, Jim. Nice job of running you did there.
Supercharged, that's me.
That's what I was telling the gang, that you eat the super cereals.
Sure do. Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. You just can't find another cereal like them.
Right you are, because they're the only modern bite-sized cereal anywhere.
And talk about delicious. Boy.
Get them today, Space Patrollers. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Edward Stratton, operator of an atomic reactor plant on Venus, is being blackmailed by a former employee, Elspeth Bennett, into selling plutonium illegally. Buzz and Happy went to Lake Azure on Venus to get Stratton's report and were knocked unconscious by Elspeth's assistant, the burly Ivan Almond. Now, while Ivan goes to bring Stratton out of his lakeside cottage, Buzz and Happy regain consciousness to find Elspeth standing over them with a heavy club.
Don't get any ideas about rushing me. I've got you covered.
Commander, look. She's holding the same stick we used to pull her out of the water.
If you think I won't use it, just make a move to get up. Oh, Cadet, what are you looking so pop-eyed about?
Look, right over your head. There's a snake hanging from that tree limb.
Oh, no, really? Don't try any childish tricks on me.
He's right, Miss Bennett. It's a poisonous snake.
Oh, who do you think you're fooling?
We're not fooling.
You better move, Miss Bennett.
And you'd better not, Commander.
It's ready to strike.
And so am I.
Look out, Commander.
I warned you, Commander. Let go of that stick.
I was hoping you'd swing at me. Now, give me that paw. I don't want to hurt you. There.
If you hadn't ducked, I'd have fixed you good.
Yeah, and if the commander hadn't yanked you forward, something would have fixed you for good. Look what's on that branch.
It is a snake. Oh.
I've got her.
1 minute she's swinging a club at us, and the next she faints dead away. Women are sure temperamental.
At least this one is.
You know, Commander, if that snake had bitten Miss Bennett, I'm afraid it would have been one sick snake.
This is no time for jokes, Happy. We've got to save Stratton. Come on. I hope we're in time.
Commander.
Stratton, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Where's Ivan?
Oh, he saw you coming, hit me, and then ran out the back door.
Stratton, Miss Bennett is out by the lake. Watch her till we get back. Come on, Happy. Let's see if we can pick up Ivan's trail.
Wait, Ivan.
Miss Bennett, I thought they captured you. I saw Corey and the cadet run toward the cottage.
No. Corey struck me and thought I was unconscious. Ivan, did you finish Stratton?
No. I didn't have a chance. Corey and the cadet arrived too soon. Miss Bennett, we'd better get in the boat and shove off. Corey may have trailed me through the brush.
All right, let's get across the lake to our spaceship. Help me into the boat.
This brush sure is thick.
Yes. Some of these small branches are broken. Ivan's heading for the lake.
Do you think he'll try to swim it, sir?
He might. He might have had a boat beached along here.
Commander, look at these footprints. They lead right out to the water.
There's 2 sets, a man's and a woman's.
Miss Bennett must have come out of her faint.
Hey, look out there, halfway across the lake.
A water cruiser with 2 people in it.
They're going at full speed.
By the time we got to our boat at the wharf, well, they'd be out of sight.
Get back to Stratton's cottage and space a phone and alarm.
I'm sorry that Bennett woman got away. I got to the lake shore, she was gone.
Don't worry, Mr. Stratton. The commander's alerting the lake patrol. She won't get very far.
I think she was planning to destroy us all in cold blood. Elspeth's always been a determined woman. But I had no idea she was so utterly ruthless.
I just talked to the manager of the Lake Azure Hotel. Neither Ivan nor Miss Bennett were registered there. But the manager recognized their descriptions. They've been hanging around there the last couple of days.
They must have been picking up information.
I've alerted the Lake Patrol and Venus City headquarters. Mr. Stratton, do you have any idea where Miss Bennett's factory is?
No, other than she hinted it somewhere here on Venus.
So what's the name of it?
I don't even know that. I was supposed to ship the plutonium to the Elbin Company on Mars. It's a fake outfit she uses just to acquire illegal materials.
The Elbin Company. Chances are she must do quite a bit of business under that name. I'll have Space Patrol units contact all spaceports and shipping centers to see if there's any freight on hand for the Elbin Company. Mr. Stratton, you'd better come with us to Venus City. Until we capture Elspeth Bennett and Ivan, your life is in danger.
Miss Bennett, the plants are in the other direction. You are way off vector.
We're not going to the plant right now. We're going to Venus City to pick up some freight.
What for?
There's an electromagnetic pump waiting to be picked up, and it's got the Elbin Company name on it. Sooner or later, Corey's going to trace us through the Elbin Company.
But, Miss Bennett, we can't get a magnetic pump in this ship. It's too small.
We'll hire a surface truck from the warehouse and drive to the plant. There's another ship there. We'll pick up some documents I need and then blast off for Jupiter. Corey'll never find us there.
We're about 2 minutes out of Venus City, sir. Shall I contact Space Control?
I'll handle it, Hap.
Space Patrol Headquarters, Venus City, calling Commander Corey.
Corey here, go ahead.
Commander, we've already got a development on that Elbin Company checkup.
Good, let's have it.
Warehouse number 3 has had a large piece of machinery on hand assigned to the Elbin Company. The electromagnetic pump was picked up just a few minutes ago.
Does anybody at the warehouse know where the Elbin Company is located?
No, not exactly, but from other dealings, they think it's southeast of Venus City, out toward the Topaz River. A man and a woman rented a big Atomo surface truck from the warehouse.
Get the Atomo truck registration number. Alert all highway patrol units to watch for it, and not to stop it, just report its location and direction.
Yes, Commander.
Corey out. Well, we won't land at Venus City, Happy. We'll cruise around till we get a report on that truck.
I've got the Atomo truck in the viewscope, sir. It's the only vehicle on the highway for miles.
Well, that must be it, then. Check that chart of the Topaz River region.
Yes, sir.
What manufacturing concerns are marked there?
Well, there's only one, sir, but it doesn't say what it is.
No. When the truck arrives, we'll be there.
You know, Miss Bennett, I've got to admit I didn't think much of this plan at first. But we sure got Corey off our trail now.
With that electromagnetic pump out of the warehouse, there's nothing on Venus to give him a hint where our plant is.
What about the spaceship we left at the freight yard?
The false registration will throw Corey even further off the trail.
Do you want to go to the administration building first and get those papers?
No, stop here, by the reactor equipment building.
What for?
Just stop the truck. I'm going to leave orders for my men to get rid of all equipment which might connect this plant with illegal radioactivity work. We'll go in here and take a quick inventory.
Well, I can tell you what is in there. A container of sodium, potassium coolant, heat exchanger, a receiving tank.
Yes, I know, but I don't want any slip-ups. Come on, get out.
It's going to be a job to dispose of all that, and a real shame to destroy it.
It'll just be hidden. A few months from now, I'll set up a plant on another planet. Nobody's going to stop the lady from Venus. I can promise you that. Now, come on.
All right, Miss Bennett. Ivan, stay where you are.
Corey!
Quick, into the building.
Stop!
Quick, open the door. Up the stairs. We can cross to the next building with a catwalk.
There they go, sir. Up the stairs.
Come on, let's get them.
Ivan, open the door of the catwalk. Stop. They're coming up the steps. Stop.
You're cornered. Better come down.
Ivan, those big containers. Roll them down the stairs.
Okay. Better get off the stairs.
Watch it, Commander.
Duck hatch. Shall I roll this one now?
Ivan, wait. Don't roll it. Open the valve and let it pour down the stairs.
Huh?
Tip it over and point the valve toward them. Hurry!
Commander, what do you suppose she's up to?
I don't know.
Corey, this drum contains sodium potassium coolant. It's used in atomic breeder reactors to carry off heat from the reactor core. When it's exposed to air, it will burst into flames. Turn the valve, Ivan.
There it goes. Stand back, Happy.
Now, let's see her come up those stairs.
Commander, the heat, it's awful.
All right, Ivan, get that door open.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
Happy, we can't get up through that flaming liquid, and they can't get down. We'll go outside.
Sorry, Commander, you won't be leaving.
She's closed the door.
The electronic control switch is up here. It's no use, Cadet. You can't open that door.
I got this one open, Miss Bennett.
We're leaving you now, Commander. Oh, by the way, there's an automatic fire extinguishing system in here. In a minute or two, water will be sprayed all over that sodium-potassium alloy. And that's your life. Come on, Ivan, we haven't got much time.
Hey, did you hear that, Commander? The sprinkling system will put the fire out. And if it works quickly...
the sprinkling system starts, we're finished.
Huh?
This coolant has to be kept in a closed, airtight system. It burns in there, but when water hits it, it explodes violently. All these containers will blow up.
Commander, we've got to get out of here.
Now, look, there's an electronic hoist. The chain runs up to that pulley fastened to the beam. That hoist will lift us high enough we can swing over to the balcony and get out the way they did. Grab the hook, I'll throw the switch.
Yes, sir.
Get a good grip. I'll hold the chain and kick the switch with my foot.
Hey, it's working, sir. We're going out.
Start swinging. When we're level with the balcony, jump.
Yes, sir. Hey, the sprinkling system. It started to work.
Let's hope the water doesn't hit that coolant till we get out of here. Jump, Happy. Quickly. Out the door across the catwalk.
There it goes. 3 whole buildings blown to bits.
Yes, and Commander Corey along with them. Now, come on, let's get to the ship.
Let's use my ship. It's closer.
Corey! Hold it, Ivan.
Corey, you couldn't have escaped.
But we did. Which is something that's never going to happen to a certain lady from Venus. Yes, sir, Commander. When she teamed up with Ivan Ammon, it sure was an evil omen.
We'll be back with an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment. Jumpin' Jupiter, gang. Here's a 5-star bulletin from Buzz Corey. It's coming over the teletype here in the newsroom of Terra's biggest newspaper, the Outer Space Dispatch. Here, I'll read it to you hot off the news tape. It says, gang, don't take a chance those cold winter mornings. Get a start for the day that keeps you moving. Eat a breakfast that whips you into action. A good breakfast with good hot Ralston, the hot super cereal that helps to supercharge you. That's Instant Ralston, the delicious wheat cereal. Remember, I can't take a chance. I have to get supercharged every day. That's why I eat a good breakfast with Instant Ralston, a breakfast that supercharges me. You can't take a chance either, boys and girls, so my advice to you is this. Get supercharged every day. That's it, gang. That's Buzz Corey's message to you. So do what your commander says. Eat a good breakfast with good hot Ralston and get supercharged. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy are in the lower shaft of a secret mine on Saturn's 6th moon. As they wade through the water of a partly flooded shaft, sound filters down through the mine.
Happy, listen.
Yeah, sounds like a motor of some kind. It must be back outside the opening.
The mine's pump engine.
Pump? Oh, automatic, I guess, yeah. When the water reaches a certain level, it cuts on.
Hey, wait a minute. Look at the water level against the wall of the shaft. Watch it.
It looks like it's rising.
That pipe. It isn't drawing water out, it's forcing it in. Happy, somebody at the mine opening reversed the pumps. They're trying to drown us.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Last Voyage of Lonesome Lena, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again brings you Space Patrol! And now, a message from Commander Buzz Corey.
Boys and girls, to donate blood, you have to be at least 18 years of age. But to be a Space Patrol blood booster, well, age doesn't matter. I need all of you, and all of you can join. Our job is to get more people to donate blood to the Red Cross. It's a swell way to help your country, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So how about it? How about joining my Space Patrol Blood Boosters today?
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovach, Ken Mayer, Virginia Hewitt, and David Duval. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.